Yes. Indeed. All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to the mighty in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. They pick us up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures for enemy to think you have eternal life, and there they will testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come by Allah's name, you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba, as one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writing, how should you believe my words? All esteem and Shamahim to Abba in the name of Yahushua. Proverbs 27:9. Shalom, Jake. Ointment and perfume rejoice the heart, so the sweetness of a man's friend by hearty counsel. Come on, Sylvie, man. Ezra 6 and 7. You see this here, man? They say this raw. No additives, nigga. Just raw.
Let the work of this house of Elohim alone. Let the governor of the Yahudim and the elders of the Yahudim build this house of Elohim in his place. Moreover, I make a decree which you shall do to the elders of these Yahudim for the building of this house of Elohim. That of the king's goods, of the tribute beyond the river, forthwith expenses be given unto these men. And that which they have need of, both young bullocks and rams and lambs, for the burnt offerings of the Elohim of Shamahim, wheat, salt, wine, and oil, according to the appointment of the priests, which at Jerusalem, let it be given them day by day without fail.
Quran, man. You a bro.
That they may offer sacrifices of sweet savors unto the Elohim of Shamahim, and pray for the life of the king and of his sons. Also, I have made a decree.
That's good. He said, pray for the life of who?
The king.
And his who?
His son.
Judges 9 and 8. I know y'all children ain't here fighting and fussing. I know that's not what you're doing. Malik, you all right? Get yourself together. Slow on, Brother Marcus. Come on, man. Judges 9 and 8.
The trees went forth to anoint a king over them, and they said unto the olive tree, reign you over us. But the olive tree said unto them, shall I leave my fatness, wherewith by me they honor Elohim and man, go to be promoted over the trees? All right. And the tree said to the fig tree, come you, reign over us. But the fig tree said unto them, shall I forsake my sweetness and my good fruit, and go to be promoted over the trees? Then said the trees unto the vine, come you and reign over us. And the vine said unto them,
Brother
shall I leave my wine, which cheer Elohim and man, and go to be promoted over the trees? Then said all the trees unto the bramble, come you, reign over us. And the bramble said unto the trees, if in truth you anoint me king over you, come put your trust in my shadow. If not, let fire come out of the bramble and devour the cedars of Lebanon.
All right, 1 Kings 10 and 1. You know the boy been arguing about it lately, man. They've been arguing about it. Is the Lord God? Is Yahushua God or not? These boys been going in about this. The other dude got upset because I told him, I said, man, shoot. Well, we see you who and Yahushua the same person. I'm fully persuaded. You can keep all your comments to yourself. You know what I'm talking about? I don't want to hear that junk. You know what I'm talking about? Straight them down. But now they were coming from a man because they don't debate some dude. And he acknowledged. It's funny because and it's something that the only reason I mentioned it because we just talked about it, but not because they were debating it. I mean, I mentioned it Wednesday when bro was on there when I was talking to him about it. But I think we talked about it a week before or 2 weeks before that, whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? God knows. In the aspect of the fact of dudes really want to believe that Yahuwah is the Father and that you've been dealing with the Father. You know what I'm saying? It's very hard for an individual to make that separation that Yahuwah and Yahuwah is the same person. You've never dealt with the Father. You don't even understand how righteous the Father is for you not to deal with him. You know what I'm saying? But I can understand it because you see where it say this. But this is the key thing. Nowhere in it did it say that was the Heavenly Father in Genesis to Malachi. That was never alluded to. You know what I'm talking about? That was never insinuated. We just see him talk about his Heavenly Father on the back end. You know what I'm talking about? And we just assumed that that's who it was referring to. Indeed, Quran mentioned, he said he straight up told us that I am more than one. Yahushua, and we done went over that before. He definitely told you that I am on several occasions, and the people wanted to stone him. They knew exactly what he was saying. You know what I'm talking about? He said, I am the self-existing one. When he said, before Abraham was, I self-exist. And I create. They knew exactly who he was saying he was. Especially considering his name is Yahuwah is salvation. You know what I'm talking about? So it's not that Yahuwah is the salvation. His name is literally Yahuwah is salvation. So that would mean he's saying, I am salvation, which means that he would be Yahuwah. I mean, it's not that hard to understand, but some people, I heard a dude say you're really doing that junk from the standpoint of what Aristotle taught. Take what Aristotle taught and shove it up your butthole. 1 Kings 10:1.
And when the queen of Sheba heard of the fame of Solomon concerning the name of Yahuwah,
that's right,
she came to prove him with hard questions. And she came to Jerusalem with a very great train, with camels that bear spices, very much gold, precious stones. And when she come to Solomon, she communed with him of all that was in her heart. And Solomon told her all her questions. There was not any hid from the king, which he told her not. And when the queen of Sheba had seen all Solomon's wisdom in the house that he had built, in the meat of his table, and the sitting of his servants, and the attendance of his ministers, and the apparel and his cupbearers, and his ascent by which he went up unto the house of Yahuwah, there was no more ruach in her. And she said to the king,
she had no more breath in her.
And she said to the king, it was a true report that I heard in my own land of your acts and of your wisdom. Howbeit I believed not the words until I came, and my eyes had seen, and behold, the half was not told me. Your wisdom and your prosperity exceed the fame which I heard. Happy your men, happy these your servants, which stand continually before you, that bear your wisdom. Baruch thee Yahuwah Yah Elohim, which delight in you to set you on the throne of Yasharal, because Yahuwah love Yasharal forever.
That's good. That's good. So we talked about sitting at his table, concluding last evening. But let's swing over here to 1 John chapter 3, verse 1, man. Quran mentioned the passage where it said, Yahuwah will look upon me, whom they have pierced. If y'all know that's verse 10, man, of Zechariah 12. And we might look at that in a moment. But 1 John chapter 3 and verse 1. First John 3 and 1. I'm trying to tell you, you ain't worked last night, nigga. You throw there and cry. And nothing about you talking about you had a strap throat. You ain't had no strap throat, nigga.
It said, behold, what manner of love Allah have bestowed upon us that we should be called the sons of Elohim.
Say it again.
Behold, what manner of love Allah have bestowed upon us that we should be called the sons of Elohim.
What did it say after that?
Wherefore the world knoweth us not.
The world what?
Knoweth us not.
The world what?
Knoweth us not.
What else?
Because it knew him not.
Because it what?
Knew him not.
Uh-oh.
Beloved, now we see we are the sons of Elohim, and it does not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is.
John 17 and 17 says, come on, man. You all right? You need a Lawson? You need a Halls? They still make Halls?
I don't know what
That boy say he got some cough drop back up. Doris ain't making no tea. Look how she looking. I don't give a damn. You better keep that junk over there with him. I ain't mad at her. She said, I can't afford to get sick. Keep that junk over there with you. You ain't making no tea, Doris. You look like the type of nigga dropping tea off in a thermal.
Bring it over there.
Yeah, leave some soup and all. In a nice note. Get better soon. Keep your sick behind over there. You're a New York nigga. That's what y'all do. You do nice stuff, but it's still the New York. I got to be mean with it. Keep your sick behind over there. So you ain't never pulled up on somebody with chicken noodle soup and tea in the thermal.
I'm still getting up like no.
Left it at the front door.
Why you made it for?
You ain't in New York. That boy said he grabbing a cup of tea right now. That junk don't count. You for me. That's what y'all drink. Y'all drink tea in the middle of the heat.
It says, sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. As thou hast sent me into the world, even so I also sent them into the world. And for their sakes I sanctify myself, that they might be sanctified through the truth. Neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word, that they may all be one, as thou, Father, in me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us. That the world may believe that thou hast sent me. And the esteem which thou givest, I have given to them, may be one, even as we are one.
And they may be what?
One, even as we are one.
Deuteronomy 6 and 4. You see that, John? I used to do an exercise with a kettlebell. Put the kettlebell right there.
Congratulations. It's a hill, Yashua, Yahuwah Elohim.
Well, then they kick you in your shit, it's gonna break. Say that again.
Yashua, Yahuwah Elohim is one.
Yahuwah what?
Our Elohim is one.
It's what?
It's one.
Now tell them what one is. You keep trying, I'm gonna kick you in your shit, you gonna find out.
Five.
Yeah, give them the character 4.
That's Olive, Cod, and Dollar.
Olive, Cot, and Dalet. What does this mean? Because he said earlier that I and my Abba are one, did he not? And we say that Yahuwah and Yahushua are the same person. Because you know that's a little hang up for a lot of people when he say Yahuwah, your Elohim is one. If there's nobody beside him, why would he need to say he won? I'm leaning for this son, because you know why? Because you know Abraham and his son are one. Jacob get the benefit, but it's really about the father and the son. Because Jacob is the grandson. You know what I'm talking about? Jacob is the Ruach, if we want to look at it, but that's another conversation. But Olive, Cotton, Dye. You know that time about you, boy? It almost looked like a professional did that.
Young he is.
I forgot you did. Comcast used to have you hanging up people TV.
We'll see. You know what's going on the tool, man. Yeah, that's all it is.
Pause, man. I ain't gonna know all that. Y'all got going on. Nah, you gonna hang on TV, that's a different deal. You know what I'm saying? Don't you gotta have that stud finder, Paul? You know what I'm saying? Oh, you got one of them, huh? Oh, you find lesbians all across the city. Say stud. Y'all ain't figuring nothing out from me, man. Olive, Cotton, Dollar. Y'all ain't got nothing to me. I be trying to buy you time with some comment in the midst. I guess it don't work.
Father separated to the son.
The Father has separated you to the sacrifice of his son. So let's do this. John 6 and 44 on general principle.
It says, no man can come to me except the Father which has sent him, draw him, and I will raise him up in the last day. It is written in the prophets, they shall all be taught of Elohim. Every man, therefore, that have heard and have learned of the Father,
do what?
Come unto me.
Everybody who do what?
They have heard and have learned of the Father, come unto me.
Give him Isaiah 54, man, where that come from, man. Give me verse 7.
It says, for a small moment have I forsaken thee, but with great mercies I will gather thee. In a little wrath I hid my face from you for a moment, but with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on you, said Yahuwah your Redeemer. For this, the water of Noah unto me, for I have sworn that the waters of Noah should no more go over the earth, so have I sworn that I would not be wroth with thee, nor rebuke thee. For the mountains shall depart, the hills be removed, but my kindness shall not depart from you, neither shall the covenant of shalom be removed, says Yahuwah that have mercy on you. O you afflicted, tossed with the tempest, not comforted. Behold, I will lay thy stones with fair colors, I will lay thy foundations with sapphire. I will make thy windows of agates, and thy gates of carbuncle, and all thy borders of pleasant stone. And all the children will be taught of Yahuwah.
All the what?
All the children taught of Yahuwah. Great the shalom of your children.
Paul, give me John 14 and 4, man. Because see, somebody, well, the Father's Yahuwah, because they'll be all taught of Yahuwah. When you teach of the Son, then you taught of the Father. Matter of fact, before we read John 14 and 4, give me John 5 and 16. That's a trailer park behind that one. I ain't mad at him.
It says, and therefore did the Jews persecute Yahusha and sought to slay him because he had done those things on the Sabbath day. But Yahusha answered them, my Father worked hitherto, and I work. Therefore the Jews sought the more to kill him, because he not only had broken the Sabbath, but said also that Elohim was his father, making himself equal with Elohim.
He said Elohim was his what?
His Abba, making himself equal with Elohim.
What equal mean? No, it's definitely like that back here. That's all that probably was back here with them, but all equal.
The Greek say Isos, but they are equal, they are alike, they are similar.
They are what? Alike,
similar.
They are similar. What did Genesis 1 and 26 tell you? He made man in his what?
Image and his likeness.
So they be similar. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, truth be told, if he made Adam the son of Elohim, guess what that would make Adam? Adam would be equal to him. But only enthroned in power am I greater than you. Ain't that what your law say? Yeah, this ain't hard to understand. You know, people getting their feelings. You putting the son equal to the father. See, that's how I know you an idiot, because the son is equal to his father if he got a real daddy.
I think the biggest thing that's going to be once you say that, then you got to justify God down. Then they'll be like,
Yeah, see, they were talking about that last night. God can't die.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, he was flesh and blood. What are you talking about? Like, shoot, I think Zadok told a dude that last night, man. He said this man literally was baby. He peed on himself. He boo-booed on himself. He had to be taught to walk. Your book literally say that he was in subjection to his parents from that day forward. You know what I'm saying? See, this is what people don't understand. I think I said it last night, man. They don't want the fact that Elohim became a man for one reason and one reason alone. Because if Elohim became a man and held the same standard that he held you to, you know you're going to hell. You know what I'm talking about? And I ain't talking about the aspect, because he kept the commandment. Because he was in the flesh, still the literal manifestation of who he said he was in Exodus. You're going to get you upset and angry, and you can still be merciful and gracious to him at the same time. And you can still be long-suffering to him at the same time. And you can be abundant in goodness and truth at the same time. And you can forgive sin and iniquity at the same time. And don't tell lies. And hold to God's promise. Yeah, you're going to hell. See, Bruce think it's about the not eating pork and keeping feast days. He came to show us how commandment. Nah, he came to show you that there's a standard that can be kept in the flesh while you subject to these like passions, and that you can keep the promises of God, and that when you don't do it, you going to hell. Yeah, that's why you going. This ain't got nothing. We ain't talking about no pork chop. I didn't talk with brother. We were just talking about that before we got on. He said he was the stuff that Bruce come at you with to say this is where your salvation lie at. Water baptism, Sabbath, the laws. He was like telling somebody to keep the laws. He said that's lazy doctrine. Or like what people like to say in wrestling, that's lazy booking. You know what I'm saying? See, it's a lot of stuff that people do. It's just a lazy way out. You know what I'm talking about? Now, he wasn't saying that there was anything inherently wrong with any of those things. He was more so talking about how people push that on you. You know what I'm talking about? Make it seem like, see, if you ain't doing this, you got some brews, they don't even believe in being water baptized. But then you got brews that don't even know where water baptism comes from. I told him, man, we ain't even got to talk about Exodus 40. Bro, them people got baptized coming out of Egypt and going in the land. When they walked through that sea, Moses wasn't the only one split a sea for the people to walk through. His is just the most popular one that's taught by. Because Yahushua son of Nun definitely did it. For them to get in the land, they had to walk straight through Jordan, split it right in half. Everybody that walked through to enter into that kingdom got baptized, circumcised again. You know what I'm talking about? So I don't know what these people be talking about, man. People just be talking. So when you see Yahushua coming through, he coming through with a better baptism than Yahushua son of Nun came with. See, Yahushua not coming with the baptism Moses came with. But you could say, matter of fact, you could say it like this here. He coming with the baptism that Moses came with, because that's a baptism for to free your conscience from sin. Remember what Peter said? We don't get baptized as a the putting away of the filthiness of the flesh, but of a good conscience towards Elohim. Then you get sure you're getting baptized and circumcised again so that you can actually inherit the land. Because you're not getting in the kingdom of Elohim if you ain't been circumcised again. And it also shows you how Moses' baptism would be symbolic of the baptism of John the Baptist, the baptism unto repentance. You know what I'm talking about? Because they ain't know nothing. They got baptized, they got taught a different. Because when John the Baptist was baptizing people, them people were still getting taught by somebody who was coming. You know what I'm talking about? Now, Yahushua son of Nun baptism is the baptism that you receive the Ruach, because that's how you inherit the kingdom. You can't inherit the kingdom. Because, see, I didn't get to that because before my phone cut off, because bro said he was going to talk to him about that, man. You know what I'm saying? Something that most brews overlook, something that we done discussed on several occasions. That people don't look at the difference between John the Baptist's baptism and the Lord's baptism. But what's the difference? But that ain't just one fire or water, because you both got dipped in water. One was a baptism for repentance, and the other one was for the baptism for receiving the Ruach HaKodesh. Remember what Paul said to them people in Acts 19? He said, man, you don't receive the Ruach HaKodesh since y'all been baptized. They said, we never heard of anything like that. He said, man, what baptism y'all was on? He said, oh, John. He had to hit him off with the gospel then. Them boys ain't even know nothing about that. That man said, literally, we don't even much know nothing about no Ruach HaKodesh. We don't even know what you talking about. That's why he had to hit him with what baptism you was on. Oh, John's on.
Yeah, they show he had perfect understanding. They even asked him about
that. Yeah, he's like, what? Yeah, John's on. He already know. They ain't never heard the gospel. That's what I would tell them. I mentioned that to them, but I ain't going into that great detail I told. If somebody say they wanted to be baptized, the first question I'm asking, you believe on this man as the scripture have said? Because if you don't, if you be like, nah, or what are you talking about? Then you don't need to be baptized. You don't know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because he was talking about the aspect of, which is factual, that most people, man, where you get in the church or whether you find out you a brew, the first thing somebody want to do is baptize you. You don't even know nothing. You don't even know why you doing it. You just feel like this what you supposed to do because this what the book say. But anybody who was baptized in this text, you see the first question them people ask is, did you believe that Yahushua is the son of Elohim? Then what they asked him. Now, see, it was different with John the Baptist on, because what John the Baptist told the scribe? Who warned you to flee from the wrath to come? Who told you to come around here? You know what I'm talking about? Yahushua Baptist don't never tell you Yahushua did. That baptized anybody. He ain't baptized nobody. Shoot, you see Paul when he said that. He said, boy, I'm glad I only baptized such and such house and such house. I ain't had nothing to do with that. Because he already knew what was happening. It's the same thing happening now. Somebody baptized somebody. They believe that now that person is supposed to be the follower of the person who baptized them. Now, I say most of y'all done heard people say if you get baptized by somebody, you're going to be a member of their organization. Well, back then, they didn't look at it like they had to be a member, but they looked at it like I belong to him. That's why he said you got something to say, I am of Cephas, I am of Apollos. He said, well, who are Cephas and Apollos? You know what I'm talking about? That stuff happened easy. There ain't no new thing. See, a lot of people think that's that church stuff. It's new stuff. Oh, it ain't no new stuff. Your forefathers were doing it too. They was walking around here talking about I'm a Cephas and saying like I go to First Baptist. That's what you do. That's what they were doing. They were doing the same thing. You see, when Philip immersed that eunuch, what that eunuch did, he went his way. He ain't had no ties to Philip. Philip said, now you must follow me. No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. You know what I'm talking about? You know, the purpose of immersion is to immerse you into the family of Elohim. That's the purpose of it. It's to make you a son of God. That's the purpose of it. Come on, man. Where you was at? That nigga said we done tapped out from the dad is a slacker.
You know that John 14?
John 5:16.
You done, bro?
Nah.
It says, therefore did the Yahudim persecute Yahushua and sought to slay him because he had done these things on the Shabbat. Well, Yahushua answered them, my Abba worketh here too, and I work. Therefore the Yahudim sought more to kill him because he not only had broken the Shabbat, but said also that Elohim was his father, making himself equal with Elohim.
Notice that it said every time it referred to his father as Elohim. Because that's his mighty one. And you know why it's as such? Because you already know this. A son ain't calling his daddy by his first name. They're not, you don't have that type of relationship if you walk around here doing that. Some of y'all good and grown and don't call your parents by your first name. You know what I'm talking about? Not gonna do it. Come on, John 14:4.
It says, "Whether I go, ye know, and the way ye know." Thomas said unto him, Lord, we know not whither thou goest. How can we know the way? Yahushua said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh to the Father but by me. If ye had known me, you should have known my Father.
If you had what?
If ye had known me, you should have known my Father.
See, if you had
also.
if you had experienced me, you would have experienced my Father also. Go ahead.
And from henceforth you know him and have seen him. Philip said unto him, Lord, show us the Father, and it suffices us.
Bad. You come back and look bad.
Yahushua said unto him, have I been so long time with you, and yet thou hast not known me, Philip? He that knoweth hath seen me, hath seen the Father. And how sayest thou, show us the Father? Believe thou not that I am in the Father, and the Father in me.
And he said, if I'm in the Father and the Father's in me, then what that take us to? Yahuwah, your Elohim, is one. Go ahead.
Okay. It says, believe thou not that I am in the Father, and the Father in me. The words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself, but the Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. Believe me that I am the Father, and the Father in me, or else believe me for the very word.
Because if you believe him for the word's sake, then you would have believed the word that spoke of, and you would have seen that his Father was in it. Back to John 17, man. I don't know what verse to start with. Shoot, you good, man. So, man, you got to overstand yourself. No, just give me John 17 and 20.
It says, neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which believe on me through their word, that they may all be one, as thou, Father, in me, and I in them, that they may also be one in us, that the world may believe that thou hast sent me. And the esteem thou hast gave me, I have given them, that they may be one, even as we are one. I in them, and thou in me, that they may be made perfect in one, and that the world may know that thou hast sent me, and hast loved them, as thou hast loved me.
Right. Go ahead.
Father, I will they also, whom thou hast given me, be with me where I am, that they may behold my esteem, which thou hast given me, for thou lovest me before the foundation of the world.
You loved him before what?
The foundation of the world.
Go ahead.
O righteous Father, the world have not known thee,
they have
but
not
I have
what?
known thee.
They have not what?
They have not known thee.
They have not what?
They have not known
Then we
thee.
just read in 1 John, they say the world haven't known you. Read it again, 1 John 3 and 1. Stay where you at in John 17 and 24.
It said, behold, what manner of love that Abba hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of Elohim. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not.
So there's nowhere in the world. Now read that John 17 one more time.
It says, Father, I will that thou also, whom thou hast given me, be with thee where I am, that they may behold my esteem, which thou hast given me, for thou lovest me before the foundation of the world. O righteous Father, the world have not known thee, but I have known thee.
Now, Paul, now give me 1 John 2 and 15.
It said, love not the world, neither the things in the world. If any man love the world, the love of Abba is not in him.
See, that's why they didn't know him. And what's in the world?
For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh.
The lust of the what?
The lust of the flesh.
And the lust of the what?
Eye.
And what else?
The pride of life.
It's of the what?
It's not of Abba, but it's of the world.
Now, see, we could go right in. See, that's where your forefathers got caught up in the book of Judges. They got caught up with the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life, looking at what these people were doing. That's how they got caught up with Saul. We want a king like them. We want to do what they doing. See, this is what an individual understands. What did we read in 1 John 3 last night? That man say, he that has sinned has neither what? Seen him, or known him. So there's no way you're going to be able to see the Father and the Son. You know why you can't see the Father and the Son? When you commit sin, because the man's eyes are too pure to look upon iniquity. So anybody who in him, they're not going to be able to recognize him and you, not with you living like that. Man, I've been told you, man, and I'm a firm believer of it, that most people, this ain't what they want to do. This is not what they want. They don't have the spiritual endurance. You know what I'm talking about? They don't have the spiritual endurance. They ain't got it. This is something to do. People do this when it's convenient for them. I told you, man, more people didn't want to put on a show for the internet. You know what I'm talking about? You can't be godly and worldly at the same time. You can't be both. That man say he that's a friend of the world. He said it's hatred between you and Elohim. Well, you can't be friends with the world and friends with Elohim. You understand what is a friend? It's going to be two words for you. We just talked about it the other day. It's either going to be real or it's going to be aha. You can't love God and love the world. You can't. It's impossible. That Zechariah said what? These are the wounds I got in the house of love. He said, this is Abraham, my love. That's what he called it. I say that because if God ain't afraid to tell you he loves somebody, I don't know why you is. Well, he said Daniel was a man greatly beloved, but I want to more so focus on, boy, he said he didn't just say Abraham was his friend. He said, boy, that's my love. Boy. Boy, I love that man. You know what I'm talking about? And why did he love him? It wasn't because he wasn't eating no pork chops. It wasn't because he was talking about his Passover. It was because this man loved him. Give me Proverbs 8:14 on general principle.
Counsel mine and sound wisdom, I understanding, I have strength. By me kings reign and princes free judgment.
There you go.
By me princes rule, nobles all the judges of the earth. I love them that love me.
You love those that what?
That love me.
Well, you don't love that man. He love me. Commandments. He loved it. He had them. You know what I'm talking about? We know Adam showed love. What laws he got the laws after. That's why he died. He said, you know what? The law put me to death, so I die, so she don't die. That's what manner of love. You know what I'm talking about? Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and do it. Because we talking about what manner of love he bestowed upon her. Let me go ahead and do it like this. Because I was setting stuff up so you can see the Akkad and the wonder. Now go ahead and get me Luke chapter 3, man, verse 27. I know y'all know we only want the last verse, but that's not the point. Luke 3:27.
It say, which was of Joanna, which was of Risa, which was of Zerubbabel, which was of Salathiel, which was the son of Neri, which was the son of Melchi, which was the son of Adar, which was the son of Kosam, which was the son of Elmodam, which was the son of which was the son of Hosea, which was the son of Eliezer, which was the son of Joram, which was the son of Matha, which was the son of Levi, which was the son of Simeon, which was the son of Judah, which was the son of Joseph, which was the son of Jonam, which was the son of Eliakim, which was the son of Neleah, which was the son of Menam, which was the son of Mattatha, which was the son of Nathan, which was the son of David, which was the son of Jesse, which was the son of Obed, which was the son of Boaz, which was the son of Salmon, which was the son of Nasan, which was the son of Aminadab, which was the son of Aaron, which was the son of Esrom, which was the son of Perez, which was the son of Judah, which was the son of Jacob, which was the son of Isaac, which was the son of Abraham, which was the son of Thorah, which was the son of Nahor, which was the son of Sarah, which was the son of Ragu, which was the son of Phalet, which was the son of Heber, which was the son of Salah, which was the son of Canaan, which was the son of Archbad, which was the son of Shem, which was the son of Noah, which was the son of Lamech, which was the son of Methuselah, which was the son of Enoch, which was the son of Jared, which was the son of Mahalaleel, which was the son of Canaan, which was the son of Enos, which was the son of Seth, which was the son of Adam, which was the son of God, or which was of God.
So let's go to Genesis 2 and 7. It said that Adam was of Elohim. See, the son is added. Hell, son was added for everybody. You know why it was added? Because it was implied. It's already implied you're the son of this person. It didn't necessarily need to be stated. See, that's a little difference with when you're dealing with Bruce versus dealing with English. And some things didn't need to be said that was obvious.
But even though, like I said, of you, you still like part of it. You know what I'm saying? You say you of this person.
Yeah, you emanate from them. I'm of his seed, of his loins, of his lineage. Genesis 2 and 7.
It says, and Yahuwah Elohim formed man, the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a soul.
It say Yahuwah who?
And Yahuwah Elohim.
Who did it?
Yahuwah Elohim.
That's who did it. That's who made it. And what does Genesis 1 tell us he formed him from? A word. So we're just looking at this so you can see that Adam is the son of Elohim. He is of Elohim. He is not of man. See, I know that's a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow, but in reality, that means what manner of love did the Father bestow upon us that we should be called the sons of Elohim because he fashioned and made him himself. And you know what that takes us back to? It takes us to Genesis, that John 1 and 12. What did we just read it last night, so I ain't reading it again. What did John 1 and 12 say? And he gave them power to become the sons of Elohim who would believe on his name. Not by the will of the flesh, not by the will of man, not by blood, but of Elohim. What made Adam a son of Elohim? It wasn't the will of the flesh. It was Elohim who did it. Now let's take it a step further. And let's go to Genesis chapter 4 and verse 1. And let's look at the second son of Elohim in this book. Who is the second son of Elohim in this book? You got to before you get in the new. Who the second? Yes, it is Seth. Seth is the second. Genesis 4 and 1. Son of Elohim.
They say Adam knew Eve.
Hold on. What makes Seth the son of Elohim? No, he promised Seth nobody. Because he's the son of Adam. And Adam is Elohim. So if he born of the son of Elohim, what that gonna make Seth? A son of Elohim. That's what Abel and Cain would have been. On the different war, Cain shown he was of the wicked one. See, Cain is representative of the rebellion of the wicked one and him getting put out. You know what I'm talking about? Let's take a look at it. Genesis 4 and 1.
It said Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I've gotten a man from Yahuwah. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was the keeper of the sheep, and Cain was the tiller of the ground. And in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought the fruit of the ground and offered it to Yahuwah. And Abel he also brought of the firstlings of his flock.
That's right, Quran.
And of the fat thereof. And Yahuwah had respect unto Abel and to his offering. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect.
He didn't acknowledge it.
And Cain was very wroth.
He was upset.
And his countenance fell.
I'm mad.
And Yahuwah said unto Cain, why you
looking ugly?
Are wroth, and why is your countenance fallen?
Fix your face.
If you do well, you shall be accepted.
If you do good, I'll take. See, that's what a lot of niggas problem is. You ain't doing good, and you think he's supposed to accept you. That man ain't finna accept you walking around here looking like a bald-headed scallywag. You know what I'm talking about? He's not accepting you, and you walking around here acting less than a man. You got hate in your heart, malice in you, envy, jealousy, and pride. That man's not accepting that. See, we'll sit back, right, and I'll get this here on the aspect on the similitude, right? Because the text say the woman's supposed to be in modest apparel, ain't it? Give me the verb where it say modest apparel at and tell me what modest means. I think it's in 1 Timothy chapter 2, man. I didn't want the Greek word for modest real quick. I don't think it's a Hebrew equivalent. It might be once I hit the definition.
Orderly, of good behavior, modest.
See that? Orderly. That's what I want. Orderly. Orderly. Now, what did Paul write that Yahuwah is not in comparison to the devil? With the word orderly in mind. He told you in 1 Corinthians 14 that Elohim is not the author of what? Well, what did confusion translate to? Disorder. You know what I'm talking about? So if you're a modest woman, you're an orderly woman. So what does that mean for a woman to be orderly? That means she comports herself in a particular fashion that the name of her God isn't blasphemed. Didn't we read that? Did you read that in Timothy? That the doctrine or the name of your Elohim is not blasphemed? So that's the same token when you look at the text talking about a woman supposed to be in modest apparel and you, his wife, you supposed to be in modest apparel, but we're not necessarily talking about apparel as forth as putting on clothes. Then we just read in 1 Kings 10 that it said something about those who sat at his table and the apparel they had on. The malbouche, and what is that apparel? That's the fine linen, clean and white, which is the righteousness of the saints. So Ecclesiastes tell you, keep your garments always white. Well, what's the only way you're going to be able to keep your garments white? Because you walk it orderly. Don't it end it in Psalm 37? Order my steps. Find that for me, man. I think it might be Psalms 119. I'm thinking about he ordered the path of a righteous man. That's Psalms 37. But Psalms 119 talk about order my steps in the word. Psalm 119 and 133. Listen to it.
It say, order my steps in your word and let not any iniquity have dominion over me.
Read it again.
Order my steps in your word and let not any iniquity have dominion over me.
Now, tell them what order means.
That's cool.
Established.
To be erect, to be established, to be appointed, to be fixed, to be perfect.
To be what?
To be perfect.
Now, when you sit back and you look at that, the word for modest means to be orderly. And we got a slight Hebrew equivalent. In ordering my steps in your word is to be perfect. Give him Genesis 17 and 1. Look at what he told Abraham.
It says, and when Abram was 99 years old and 9, Yahuwah appeared unto Abram and said unto him, I, the Almighty Elohim, walk before me
and be what?
Perfect.
And be what?
Be thou perfect.
Be what?
Be thou perfect.
And what else?
And I will make my covenant between me and thee.
So he said, he told him, if you be perfect, I'll make a covenant with you. Go ahead.
And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and Elohim talked with him, saying,
that's good. Now read Psalm 119 and 133 one more time. I think it's Psalms 37, man. Tell me about verse 37 after that. Psalm 119, 133 again.
It say, order my steps in your word.
Order my steps in what?
Your word.
So he said, make me perfect in your word. So that's the only way sin ain't gonna have dominion over you. And now when I say sin, it really say iniquity, which is a bond, which is the punishment for sin. So that way, make me perfect in your word, and death won't have rule over me. That's why we don't seek to be made perfect through the law. If not, we frustrate the grace of Yahushua HaMashiach. You understand how that rolls? Psalm 37, 30, man. Tell me what it say.
It says, the mouth of the righteous speak of wisdom.
And what else?
And his tongue talketh of judgment.
And what else it do?
The law of his Elohim
is where?
In his heart.
What else?
None of his steps shall slide.
Go ahead.
The wicked watcheth the righteous and seeketh to slay him.
That's what they do.
Yahuwah will not leave him in his hand, nor condemn him when he is judged.
So won't.
Wait on Yahuwah and keep his way, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, thou shalt see it. I have seen the wicked.
That would have been verse 23. So back me up to about 22. Psalms 37, 22.
It says, for such be blessed of him shall inherit the earth, and be cursed of him shall be cut off.
It said the what?
It says, for such is blessed of him.
No, verse 23. What it say the what?
The steps of a good man are ordered by Yahuwah, and he delighteth in his ways.
It say the steps of a good man are what?
Ordered by Yahuwah.
Tell him what order mean, man. What does he mean when he say your step? Tell him what steps is on top of it. It don't got good there. It's just man. Probably Adam, but we'll see.
Steps is Miss Odd. Step. It says a step or companionship, going step.
A companionship. Uh-oh. If you got a companionship, guess what that means? You got a friend, but if you got a companionship, what you gonna have to be if you got a companion? You'd have to be joined. You'd have to be a card. You would need to be one. So there's a companion whose steps are of a what the word is for man. They got that.
Valiant.
A valiant man, a warrior man. Word we talked about not too long ago. So it says that there's a companion of a warrior that's ordered by Yahuwah. What is ordered?
Saying cool.
Cool. What we look at is for what being, see, as a man, you're supposed to be modest apparel also. But see, it's not just in the aspect of a woman covering her body up, it's the aspect of you making sure that you're perfect and what it is that you do moving orderly. You know what I'm talking about? See, you can always know a woman who ain't orderly because she gonna do disorderly things. You know what I'm talking about? See, that's what I've been telling you for years. The text don't never warn no woman against no man. It always warned the man against the woman about what woman not to fool with. You know what I'm talking about? Because she look good on the outside. She's a hellion on the inside. She gonna destroy you. See, I know you live in a society now, and they make you believe that men are just so horrible and this, that, there, and the third. Let me tell you something, man. Ain't a man walking ever destroyed no woman, man. A woman destroyed herself because she thought with her emotions in her loins. Women have caused men to destroy entire civilizations because of the emotional attachment and tomfoolery he had to this woman. I told you we just seen this doggone story. This lady was pilfering $21,000 from her husband. You know what I'm talking about? And you know what she said? In the event we get divorced, that means this woman didn't want you in the first place. She seen you as a link, and now she getting her exit strategy. You know what I'm talking about? She getting her exit strategy together. She finna slide. I say that for a reason. You ain't heard too many stories of no woman killing a man then killing herself because he ain't want to be with her no more. Now, I know people like to say women start a lot of wars. I ain't gonna lie to you. Ain't no wars been started by no woman too often, man. That's just some junk people like to say on TV because it sounds good. Wars get started for power and money. Not no woman. Ain't nobody went on no full-scale battle across multiple country lines about no woman. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely not. But have niggas been killed in neighborhoods by the woman? Sure have. I'm gonna tell you something real, man. You're a damn fool to die by the woman. She gonna be laid up with another wee soon as you good and in the ground. You's a damn fool. You know what I'm talking about? I just seen a dude say, you know what I'm talking about? What that man said, man? That man said if it's any woman he know that can't control herself emotionally, he cut them out of his life. Because he said he ain't got the time to be worried about getting killed because he got to protect you because you popping off at the mouth. I've been seeing that before. Some of y'all know women like to go out in public and sell out, and now you got to protect me. You can call me all the types of cowards, hoes, and coochies you want. You ain't finna put me in no position where I'm finna risk my life by some stupid junk you want. Because you know why? Because I don't need to prove my manhood to you, because I ain't finna let you put me in no position where now I got to jump up and die because you don't know how to behave to prove I'm a man. You got me all the way messed up. I'm going to prove you how much of a man I am when I leave your stupid behind right here to get Mardi Gras because you don't know how to behave yourself. You can call me what you want to call me. One thing you ain't going to call me is a damn fool. You know what I'm talking about? Boy, I done seen women go up to men and sell out to them and be like, then men go to saying something back to her and she looking at you like, you gonna let them talk to me like that? Damn so live, because you should have left them alone. The men wasn't doing nothing to you. You went right over there and provoked them men on purpose. Now you want to come to me, be my protector. What I look like to you? And at the end of the day, what's that nigga name just beat that trial? Travis Rudolph. That's what that boy did. Because she went around there and put a battery in the nigga's back. And the boys went over there on a lie and having no information about nothing. Man, let me tell you something, man. And this ain't to say that your people lying. But boy, you better make sure that woman telling you the truth about some junk, boy, before you let her send you on a dummy mission. Because one of them boys ain't come back from that dummy mission. And that woman was lying. She swung on that man. She was married. She was doing all that and told her brother, he hit me. He did this. He did that. He did this. And they went around there and one of them niggas dead. On a lie. And another man almost lost his entire life in the penitentiary on this woman lying. And guess what? Ain't nothing happened to her. And if some of y'all seen the clips of the trial, that woman had a nerve to be disrespectful to the prosecutor about some junk that she did. Well, she literally texted the people and say, shoot this blank up. And when they asked her what you meant by that, anything but him. I ain't want nothing to happen to him. I ain't saying you can't defend your people, but boy, somebody lost their life on a dummy mission. Because you just jumped up because this woman said something, because you feel like this how you prove you a man. Well, you better make sure that all the time. It happens because, number one, what's the number one thing a man is told he got to be? A provider and a protector. And you told you got to protect the women in your family. Now, what's the narrative that is spread out? That black women are the most least protected women on earth. So now you feel like, even more so, you got to do things to show her that she's protected. Well, this woman could be emotionally imbalanced. You know what I'm talking about? And put you in a negative situation that could cost you your life. Because you moving on impulse because she said this, that, and the third, or she done ran up on somebody. Come on, man, you done seen plenty of story. You seen that story, that dude, that clip, that white man got beat up when that woman was selling out of that dude at that Steelers game. She put that man in that position to get beat up like that. There was no reason for her to be talking to another man like that. That's not like that situation in Chicago, because that lady wasn't really arguing with dude. It was just more so, she probably just could have just disengaged. But from what you can see, it don't look like she was calling him out of name. It don't look like she was raising her voice. You know what I'm talking about? It's just she should have just cut off the conversation. Like, yo, this nigga crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing they like to omit with that lady in Chicago, she told her son to go get in the car. You know what I'm talking about? I don't believe that woman was trying to escalate that particular matter. You know what I'm talking about? But that woman at the Steelers game, she was escalating that. Now her man got to come through. Now he done got dummied up. Because he got to protect her honor. See, you protect honor when the woman is being honorable. If she's dishonoring herself, then she got to be left to her dishonor. I'm dead serious. I ain't even being funny. You think Yahuwah finna come through and protect you when you dishonoring yourself? Because when you dishonor yourself, you dishonoring him. Because you're a representation of him. And this man say, man, the name of Yahuwah is blasphemed amongst the Gentiles through you. So you think he going to come protect you when you dishonoring him? No, he's not. I'm telling you, move with wisdom, man, because you're going to be wound up dead in a box, and she's going to be laid up with another dude. You know what I'm talking about? Or you're going to be doing 45 years in the state penitentiary, and she's going to be laid up with another dude, and she ain't going to put nail dollar on your books. But you killed somebody protecting her. Now you in prison. And she got Jody at the house when you called. And this nigga tell you, didn't I tell you to put a block on the phone with your black behind? See, that's the life you're going to be living. You can play with it if you want to. You know how many dudes dead? Who that chick was? You know the rapper chick that was talking to Wallow them, and she said the same thing, man. Stop calling your people, sending them out there on such and such, and they done shot up the block. Stop sending them around there to do that. I actually heard a dude say, man, his people called him around there with some stuff like that, man. And he told that woman, call me back when you calm down. He said, now, if you still want to do this when you calm down, we going to ride. Because what some women don't understand is, once that button get pressed, it can't be unpressed. You know what I'm talking about? See, it sounds good on TV. It sounds good in a song until you see the carnage that can happen out here in these streets. When you send somebody out there on that type of mission, and they bout that for real. And they finna go out there and exterminate somebody. And it's gonna be your fault. And that blood gonna be on your hands. I'm saying that for you to consider the choices and decisions that you make. And if you say you love your man like you say you do, you wouldn't even put him in that type of position to where he would lose his life or have to take one. Based off your pride and your emotions, you wouldn't even put him in that position. I think most women only put men in that position because they want to see if he'll do it or not. Let me see if he'll kill for me. That's why I keep telling you, don't be no puppet on no string for no woman, man. Be a puppet on a string for a woman if you want to. You're going to jail. You know how many niggas in the graveyard behind what we talking about right now? And guess what she gonna do? Same thing that bald-headed hoe said on that stand. I ain't tell him to go around there and do nothing to him. Well, you seen that lady on the side? You seen it?
I heard.
You seen it? Bruh. It was bad, bro. They reading the text message to her. The judge got to tell her, come on now, baby. But this woman was getting hostile. Like she was the victim and you sent them men around there. And this videotape of her slapping the fire out Travis Rudolph. She beating the brakes off this man. He not hitting this woman. This woman fought him because he had a side chick, but she got a husband. And he got him another chick because he found out she had a husband. So she fought him because she got a husband. And he don't want to be with her no more. And then she called her people and said, he beat me up. Go around there and shoot his house up. And them boys went around there. And they were whooping them niggas. And Travis Rudolph went in the house and got that yapper and let it go 39 times. And it's a nigga who ain't here no more. Boy, I promise to you, boy, I got weapons in my house, and you send a nigga in my house talking about I did this here to you, your people coming back to you in a body bag. You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna make sure I call you and say that's what you get for sending him around here. We don't ever take by stuff like that till it's done and somebody dead. People don't really weigh out what you're doing till somebody dead. And then you realize how selfish you was in that interaction when somebody dead. Come on, man, where you at? Look like it's in the rain. Well, I seen we got a severe thunderstorm and a heat advisory. I ain't never seen that in the same day before. Not that I can remember.
Psalm 37.
Yeah, man. I was on where we was at for Psalms 119. Genesis 4. Read me Genesis 4 again. But what I think the other day, boy, they say last month was the hottest June on record. Matter of fact, I think they said this was the hottest June in the world. But they said the worldwide temperature was 62 degrees. I was like, shoot, I guess that's pretty high when you factor in some places be pretty cold. Boy, it was so hot yesterday, boy, my head went to hurting. Boy, I said, yeah, we got to go ahead and hurry and get from out here. I got high blood pressure. I ain't supposed to be out here like that. I ain't supposed to be out here. Shoot, it don't matter if you drink water or not. But once you've been diagnosed with high blood pressure, boy, they tell you, boy, you can't be out there in that heat like that. Yeah, but shoot, it ain't gonna do nothing for you. And it seems like that heat make, especially if you move around, seems like that heat make your heart work harder. I waited my blood pressure ain't that high no more because I don't smoke. But I'm talking about I wouldn't even have to do nothing. I just had to step out. I had high blood pressure before I went. Man, I went one time I got locked up, man, in the county jail. That lady didn't even tell me my blood pressure. She took my blood pressure, turned around and looked at me and asked me how I was alive. I said, I don't know what she's talking about. I seen the fear in her eyes. She was like, how are you alive? I ain't eat no fried chicken. Y'all fried. Man, I'd rather eat dirt. No, man. No, man, I ain't eat like that. Well, they said this is the coolest summer we'll have for the rest of our lives. Shoot, boy, it's 99 degrees around these parts, boy. It was 99 degrees yesterday. Man, look here, man. I got out that truck, man, boy, my head went to hurt. Jimmy, you got it. I said, well, I can't take it, bro. You got it. I'm finna go sit down.
Look at Jimmy, look at you and say, who got it?
Shoot, but no, if Jimmy would have been like, hey, boy, I'm finna sit in the truck, cut the dew on, I'm gonna tell him, shoot, sit on, my nigga, sit on. Matter of fact, I tell him, I'm like, nigga, you ain't sat down yet. I'm like, bro, how you cut the truck on, don't cut the dew on? You wild. You sat down, ain't cut the dew on. I sat down explicitly to get in the car and cut the dew on. I ain't going outside. If I gotta get in the car, he ain't got no dew, I ain't going nowhere. Not in this here. That's why niggas get killed. I told you, I realized while all that killing in Eureka Guard was going down, when we were renovating, they ain't had no dude. Them niggas had wall units, boy. I said, that's why these niggas killing. They mad as hot. You notice since they renovated, them boys got central AC, you ain't hear about no killing out there. Play with it. You see now, come that murder rate right now. Nigga go out, it's hot outside, you go in the house. I ain't even mad no more. Nigga, you imagine you mad and you go in the house and it's hot, hotter in the house than it was out the door. I'm finna kill this nigga. I'm finna kill him.
The county got AC.
County got AC. Shoot. Straight up. Straight up. What? Ooh. Man, look here, man. Man, one time I cleaned the house out there in Eureka before they renovated. That's when I found out they ain't had no do out there. I said, damn, boy, I'm gonna tell them they get their money. Boy, I spent 10 pounds off in there. I won't be here no more. But they had wall unit. And guess what? They had to buy the wall unit. The wall unit didn't come with the unit. Well, they didn't even supply them people with AC. They had to buy their own. Yeah, that's fine. Tell you, man. Thank God for mercy. Boy, they got them people at AC. Look how the Lord do. He said, I stopped the killing. Get them boys some AC. Killing stop. Come on, man.
It said Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain.
It's Genesis 4:1.
It said, I've gotten a man from you. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was the keeper of the sheep, but Cain was the tiller of the ground.
Go ahead.
And in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought the fruit of the ground and offered unto Yahuwah.
That's what he did.
And Abel, he also brought of the firstling of his flock and the fat thereof.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahuwah had respect unto Abel and to his offering. But unto Cain, and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And Yahuwah said to Cain, why are you wroth? And
Why you upset? Why your countenance fall?
And if you do it well, shall you not be accepted?
Mm-hmm.
And if you do not well,
sin lie what? And his desire.
And the desire shall be to rule over him.
That's what a lot of people don't understand. If you don't do well, get what he told you? Sin right at the door. When you don't do what God say to do, your desire is going to be right there waiting on you. And they're going to have dominion over you. That's why you got to make yourself perfect. It won't have no rule over you. What we just read, right? Order my steps in your what? In your word. So iniquity won't have rule over me. John 8:33. Hey, Ruth. You capped out.
It said they answered him, we be Abraham's seed, and we have never been bondage to any man.
Give me 32. Oh, never mind. Because he just gonna say the truth shall set you free. I don't need all that. Go ahead.
It said, you should answer, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin.
He that commits sin is the what?
Servant of sin.
He that commits sin is what?
Servant of sin.
And the servant
abide not in the house forever.
Mm-hmm.
The son abideth forever. And if the son therefore shall make you free, you shall be free indeed.
If the son shall make you what?
Free, you shall be free indeed.
See, we say, he that commits sin is the what?
Servant of sin.
What did we just read in Numbers 14 about your forefathers? What they want, where they wanted to go back to? Because they wanted to commit sin, they wanted to stay in bondage. They were servants of bondage. And that's where they wanted to dwell at. That's where they wanted to stay at. See, Moses had set them free, but they were never free. See, the freedom that Yahushua given is a freedom that the law can't give you. See, this is the freedom that the sons of God get. You know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to think of enough. What is it, 1 John 3? And we mentioned it last night. Y'all know what 1 John 3:9 say, but let's look at Psalms 119:1. Girl, hush, hush. Nobody want to hear that.
And all of Baruch, the undefiled in the way, who have walked in the law of Yahuwah. Blessed are they that keep his testimonies and that seek him with thy whole heart.
Hold on. He said what?
Blessed are they that keep his testimonies.
That keep his who?
His testimonies.
Tell him what testimonies mean.
Adah, testimony witness.
Notice that it said it's blessed to those who keep his what? His witness. Not his laws, his witness. Why is that important? John 5 and 30. Because we know what Job said. His witness is where? And his record is where? Blessed are those that keep that testimony. That's what we were talking about last night in Revelation 12, right? When it said they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their what? Testimony. Come on with it.
It said, I can of my own self do nothing.
I can of my own self do nothing.
As I hear, I judge. And my judgment is just because I seek not my own will.
Because I seek not my own what?
My own will.
That's why a lot of people ain't got no business judging, because they seeking their own will. I told somebody that a long time ago, man. I said, man, I'll never give you judgment that'll be beneficial to me because you think that's what I would do, because that's what you'll do. I'm going to go to hell for that. Judgment is not a man. Judgment is a Yahuwah. That's what a lot of people's problem is. You don't preach the word for Yahuwah. You don't judge for Yahuwah. You judge and preach for yourself. Bald-headed bastard. Go ahead, man.
It says, I seek not my own will, but the will of the Abba which have sent me.
Mm-hmm.
If I bear witness myself, my witness is not true.
My witness ain't true.
There is another that bears witness of me,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that the witness which he witnessed of me is true.
Mm-hmm.
You sent unto John, and he bare witness unto the truth, but I received not testimony from man.
I received not testimony from who?
Man.
Who you get it from?
But these things I say that you might be saved.
That you might be what?
That you might be saved.
That's right.
He was a burning and shining light, and ye were willing for a season to rejoice in his light.
That's right.
But I have greater witness than that of John, for the works which the Father hath given me to work that I do bear witness of me, that the Abba hath sent me. And the Abba himself which hath sent me hath borne witness of me. Ye have neither heard his voice at any time, nor have seen his shape.
That's good. So I want you to understand that. Where we was at before that. Yeah, just that. For read verse 1 more time.
It says, bless the undefiled in the way.
So, and blessed are those that do what?
Who keep his testimony.
They do what?
And seek him with the whole heart.
Why?
They also do no iniquity.
They also do no what?
Iniquity.
And what else?
They walk in his ways.
So those who are undefiled in the way and keep his testimony don't sin. That's what he's telling you. And they don't have no punishment from sin. Now let's go back to Genesis chapter 4. See, I mentioned that because when you this is all the aspect of actually becoming the son of Elohim for the love that he bestowed upon us, that we should even be called that. You know what I'm talking about? Who in the first covenant was called the son of God? Who, when you went through the wilderness, after you came into the land, and all the time you was in the land, and you left the land and came back to the land, who in that time was ever called a son of Elohim? Not a one. Did he ever promise you that in that covenant? Not a once. Not once. You got to understand something. That first covenant was only because of his relationship with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Abraham specifically. That second covenant is based off of all of us. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is what I'm going to show to their whole bloodline. That original covenant, that's because I fooled with him. You notice he never called Isaac my friend. He never called Jacob his friend. He only called Abraham his friend because the relationship he had with Abraham is not the one he had with Isaac. He didn't deal with Isaac like he dealt with Abraham. What was the difference? He never went to Isaac and promised him no seed. Did he ever go to Jacob and promise him a seed? When his wife's womb was barren and he was old, did he ever tell Isaac and Jacob to get up from amongst your kindred and go to the place that I'll choose for you? He never did that for none of them. Do any of them have the witness that he believed in Yahuwah and he counted to him for righteousness? They don't have that testimony. See, but we don't want to deal with that. We want to think it's because of us. Oh, no, it's because of Abraham. Because he fooled with. See, a lot of people don't realize that just like I was mentioning last night, that if I fool with you, then I fool with everybody attached to you. That's how Yahuwah see it. I fool with Abraham. So everybody that come out of Abraham, I fool with them because I fool with him. Remember what he told Ahab? What he told Ahab? You remember what Yahuwah told Ahab? When he had, when Jehoshaphat came through with him, I'm talking about, to ride with him on that dummy mission Ahab was trying to do. He say, man, look here, man. He say, it's only because Jehoshaphat here, man, because he say, boy, I don't fool with you. He said, I fool with him, though. Because he said, if it wasn't for him, all you niggas would be dead. You know what I'm talking about? That's serious right now. For this man to look all these people in the face through the mouth of the prophet and tell them, I fool with him. Let's find that for him. I think it's in 2 Kings. Y'all see what I'm talking about. See, Jehoshaphat ain't had no business going around that. I'm trying to remember what I just said. Why y'all making all? Nobody want to hear all that. You ain't got nothing to talk about. Your lives ain't that exciting. I can't even remember what it's gonna get, man. Who that? Buffin gave everybody strap though. It might be.
Yeah. I think you said precaution, right? Yeah, precaution.
I ain't take nothing, boy.
Cool.
It ain't. Cause you gonna have chills, body aches.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? See, that joint hit Muffin out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Nah, they ain't gonna do nothing for that. You need antibiotics. They gave Muffin had to take antibiotics for 10 days.
What you did?
I took nothing.
The other day,
I took nothing.
see my father. I'm at the end. The children stuff on the
I ain't even realize. I just came in the house, man, and noticed I had aches and I had chills. I was like, dang. My throat ain't get sober
that's
for like 6-7 hours on the last day that I was affected. But these shit right now though, baby it too, but I don't think they got no stuff for it. But it's whoever the little white child gave it the money. Could have been a black child. I just immune system. Nah, strep throat ain't no joke, man. That junk highly contagious. I ain't had strep throat since I was 10 years old. But luckily, my tonsils didn't get inflamed, so there was that. I can't remember where it's at, man. Let me go. I said, Muffin was fine, and one day, shoot, that was 2 Saturdays ago, boy, she was down for the count. Out of nowhere. And then I ain't started feeling nothing on until I think last Wednesday, man. Just out of the blue, my body went to hurt. And I had chills. You say 2 Kings 3 and 14. Let me see.
That's pretty much me. I really didn't eat that at all.
Man, that just came up out of nowhere, boy. I'm talking about, boy, I had real deal chills. It's possible.
Makes sense. Like you said, over shit.
Yeah, there it is. 2 Kings 3, man. But it was against Moab. They went Ahab on that one. Give me verse 8. 2 Kings 3 and 8. Like I said, right? What it was, that was last Sabbath, man. My throat tried to start hurting and that junk stopped.
it says, and he said, which way shall we go? And he answered, the way through the wilderness of Edom. So the king of Israel went, the king of Judah and the king of Edom, and they accomplished 7 days' journey, and there was no water from the host, and for the cattle that followed them. And the king of Israel said, alas, then Yahuwah have called these 3 kings together to deliver them in the hand of Moab.
But Jehoshaphat said,
there not here a prophet of Yahuwah
that we might what?
Inquire of Yahuwah by him.
And
one of the king of Israel's servants answered and said, here is Elisha, the son of Shaphat, which poured water on the hands of Elijah.
And Jehoshaphat,
the word of Yahuwah is with him. So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat and the king of Edom went down to him. And Elisha said unto the king of Israel, what have I to do with thee? Get thee to the prophets of thy
what I have
father.
to do what?
What I have to do with thee?
He said, go to who?
To the prophets of thy father.
He said, go to the prophets you've been fooling with that been telling lies.
And to the prophets of thy mother. And the king of Israel said unto him, nay, for Yahuwah have called these 3 kings together to deliver them into the hand of Moab.
And Elisha said,
as Yahuwah of hosts liveth,
so he swore on Yahuwah on Israel,
before whom I stand, surely were it not that I regard the presence of Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, I would not look toward thee, nor see thee.
That's ugly, boy. That's ugly right there. That man said, if it wasn't because I respect and regarded this man right here, I wouldn't have no dealings with you whatsoever. That you'll be dead as the day is long, fooling with me. You know what I'm talking about? And why is that important? This is a twofold thing. This is something that I ain't mentioned in a long time. Y'all know about Achan, right? You know who Achan is, Doris? I said, do you know? That's funny to you? You still owe me 35 push-ups. Now make it 70. Just now. This nigga here disobedient. Don't look over there. Lee can't save you. Get my doggone stick for this nigga here. I'm sick of this shit, man. This nigga always disrespected me. You know what I'm saying? What'd you say, huh?
And that's a Babylonian garment.
That is the Babylonian garment, man. That is the Babylonian garment, man. Got his whole family cut off for an outfit and some silk. For a fresh fit and some silk. See, I mentioned that because the type of man you choose to be married to can be detrimental, so that nigga can kill you and the whole house. You know what I'm talking about? He can kill you and the whole house. Yeah, man, you know what I'm talking about? You looking at, he brought the money home. You going to hell. Because get what? Achan ain't just died. His wife and his kids died with him. His wife and his kids died with him. Same thing happened with Korah and his crew. He got all them people amped up to stand up against Moses. Korah just didn't die. His whole family died. You know what I'm talking about? See, it wasn't a situation like Abigail and the ball. Abigail got spared. We would be able to reason that she got spared because she was a woman who had a good understanding. But her husband died. See, who you fool with and who you don't fool with get you cut off. Then you got a situation like Jehoshaphat to where, boy, Yahuwah keep you alive only because that righteous man is there with you. Because he told him if he wasn't there, you dead. You know what I'm talking about? See, you don't be realizing that when you be fooling with who you be fooling with, however you be fooling with them. You know what I'm talking about? You can be fooled up with somebody. The only reason why you getting spared is because they there. And then you could get fooled up with somebody, and the only reason why you dead is because they there. It's that serious. You know what I'm talking about? That's why you can't. That's why the value of a righteous man is going to be greater than the value of a virtuous woman. Not that the virtuous woman isn't valuable, because what's the text tell you when Solomon said he did his search? He said, how many women did he find? How many men did he find? So, you know, if he ain't found no woman and he only found one righteous man, then what is my point? That righteousness is rare. That's my point. Regardless of, it's rare. It's rare. Ain't no whole sitting around here somewhere. Ain't no whole bunch of godly women sitting around. See, everybody think they godly and righteous. You know what I'm talking about? But in reality, it ain't a lot. It ain't a lot. It ain't. You know what I'm talking about? And truth be told, you would find difficulty replacing both. You know what I'm talking about? If you think you can just turn around and just find you another righteous man outside, you smoking crack. You certainly a fool. You know what I'm talking about? Then on top of the fact, if you add he got any type of sense and he get into some money, oh, he even rare. You ain't finna find another one of them. But I also always told you this here. If you ain't want one righteous man, what make you think Yahuwah gonna give you another one? That man gonna be the same as the one you didn't want. Because it's not the man that you rejected, it's Yahuwah. You know what I'm talking about? It's not the man who you rejected, it's Yahuwah. People don't understand. I don't like him because he did such and such. I want to be a different type of man. He said, I bet you do. I bet you do. And I want a different type servant. And it ain't you. You know what I'm talking about? That's what the people were doing when they said they wanted a certain type of king. What did he tell them within the time of Samuel? What did he tell Samuel?
They rejected me.
Yeah, he said protest solemnly. He said they haven't rejected you, they've rejected me. They ain't even realize that. We don't realize it now. Come on, man, where you at?
Yeah, ask for the king, but that was said.
No, that was the one in Kings that I needed. What's said to me? Yes, sir. Back to Genesis chapter 4, what verse in? I think in verse 8. We don't need to. Well, we can read about him killing him because I got something out here. Come on with it.
It said Cain talked to Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him.
And did what?
And slew him.
Give me Revelation chapter 12, man, verse 1. Little Bible study. When you hide that, what's up?
And there appeared a great wonder in Shamahim, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in Shamahim, and behold, a great red dragon.
Great red who?
Dragon.
Great red who?
Dragon. Having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of Shamahim, and did cast them into the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
He wanted to do what?
Devour her child as soon as it was born.
And what did Cain want to do? Devour his brother, did he not? Now, of course, not as soon as he was born, obviously, because they were grown men. But you get the point. Come on back to Genesis 4. What verse here? Because we're going to bounce between Genesis 4 and Revelation 12. Genesis 4 and 9.
It said, Yahuwah said unto Cain, where Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. I'm my brother's keeper. And he said, what have you done? The voice of your brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now you are cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive your brother's blood from thy hand.
He cursed from the what?
You are cursed from the earth.
He cursed from where?
From the earth.
Go ahead.
It said, when thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto you her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond you shall be.
What he gonna be?
A fugitive
and a what?
A vagabond.
Now tell him what a fugitive is.
That is you are. That is to waver. Literally to be a fugitive, to be promoted, to be real, to remove, to shake, to stagger, to and fro. A vagabond, a wanderer.
He gonna be a what? A wanderer, going to and what?
To and fro.
What that sound like? That sound like the devil. That means the devil's a fugitive. He a wanderer. He a vagabond. Tell him what a vagabond is, man.
That is lewd. That is also to waver, to flee, to deplore, to be tossed, to bemoan, to mourn, to be pitied, to be sorry. A vagabond.
A vagabond, to be sorry. Let's see why Satan a vagabond. John 8 and 44. John 8:44.
It said, ye are of your Abba the devil,
And the lust
of your Abba you will do.
for he was
A murderer from the beginning.
And what was Cain?
A murderer.
Go ahead.
And abode not in the truth.
He abode not well?
In the truth.
Oh, yeah, that light.
Because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh the lie, he speaketh of his own.
Ain't no faithfulness in it.
For he is a liar and the father of it.
Now, let's go to what? Peter? That's what? 1 Peter 5? Thank you, sir. 1 Peter 5 and what? 5 and 8?
They say, be sober and be diligent, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh, seeing whom he may devour.
He walked as a what?
A roaring lion.
Seeking who he may what?
Devour.
What else?
Who resist steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren in the world.
He told you to resist him what?
Resist steadfast in the faith.
You got to be faithful to beat him. I don't feel like we read what we supposed to read.
That was 8. I started.
There might be 6. Let me see.
6, it say, humble yourselves therefore under the mighty hand of Elohim, that you may be exalted in due time.
No, it was the walkabout. You know what I'm talking about? That's what make him a vagabond, a fugitive. Why is Cain a fugitive? Because he was a murderer. And what made Satan a fugitive? See, let's go back to Genesis 3 and 14. Let's look at his curse.
It says, and Yahuwah Elohim said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon the belly thou shalt go, and the dust shalt thou eat all thy days of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed.
Now notice, right, we know he said you'll go on your belly and eat dust. You know that's in that Philippians where he say, they God is their belly, they mind what? Earthly things, natural things. Because that's the end of the day, that's what Cain wanted after. Now let's return to Revelation chapter 12. I believe you start in verse 4 or 5. Ruth, sit down somewhere. Look at this nigga here. He over here singing Carl Thomas. He off in the cut. Summer rain. Wait till we leave. He gonna put it on stereo. That nigga ain't like Carl Thomas. You like to play I Wish I Never Met You. That nigga said, that's on fire. What you talking about? It did. Nigga was harmonizing quite nicely. The song
some rain smoother than that.
You know what I'm saying? It is, but that nigga was a pure, but it was a pure suck on that record though. I wish I never met her at all. But I love her. Boy, let that woman go. She got a whole hug. She tried to make you a side man. It don't count if you didn't know. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't volunteer for that.
No.
You thought that was your old lady. You volunteer to be a side man, you're a buster. You know what I'm talking about? How you gonna let a woman tell you, I'll see you when I can. I make time for you, and you be ready for me. You devoured yourself as a man. You crazy. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't no woman in the world that important to be like, you know what? I'll share you with another man. I will not. Nah, man, I'm not doing that. And you got dudes back. I'm a good side dude. Type of nigga you is. You know what I'm talking about? Nah, all jokes aside, you the type of nigga ought to be killed. That's what the book say. You lack understanding. You know what I'm talking about? You lack understanding. There's something wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? Nah, you know what's even funny though? Just because I had listened to it when I was on the highway, man, when that boy doing that tiny dance. You know what that nigga said? The nigga said, niggas don't play no games no more. Nigga bust your head. If you bang his hoe, get what? Yahuwah told you that. Yahuwah told you that. He told you that in Proverbs 6, didn't it? Man, nigga, bust your head, you bang his wife, and you got dudes around here talking about you. Hey, man, that's it. See, a woman you just messing with and your wife, that's two different things, boy. You asking for somebody to do something to you, boy. And just for y'all who think I'm making it up, Proverbs 6 and 26, because I ain't making it up, boy. Yahuwah told it, boy. Nigga don't play no games no more.
It says, for by means of a whorish woman, man brought to a piece of bread.
Look here, man, I ain't gonna tell you no lie. Then we did read the other day, he that spent all his company with harlots come to nothing. Mess around with a whore behind woman, you'll be broke trying to take behind her and get everything she want. Drive yourself crazy, you ain't got a Russian nickel to talking about to do nothing with. Notice I said whorish woman, not a woman, a whorish woman. There's a difference. If you don't know the difference between a whorish woman, man, that's unfortunate. Go ahead.
And the adulteress will hunt for the precious life.
What she'll do?
Hunt for the precious life.
Well, she gonna get you killed, boy. She out here looking to take souls, boy. Go ahead, man.
Can a man take a fire in his bosom?
Take a fire in his bosom.
And his clothes not be burnt? Can one go upon hot coals and his feet not be burned?
You can walk across hot coals and your feet ain't get a little tin.
So he that go over to his neighbor's wife, whosoever toucheth her shall not be innocent.
He shall not be what?
Innocent.
Boy, that man said, I ain't clearing nothing. Let me tell you something, man. Tell them what innocent means in that verse before I say what I'm not.
To be empty, be clear, be pure, be free, be innocent, be desolate, be cut off.
Boy, look here, right? That might be one of the few sins a man could commit and you don't get no mercy, boy. You know what I'm talking about? That might be one of the few sins a man can commit. Boy, that man like, did he just say you ain't gonna be innocent? That boy said you ain't free and clear for nothing. Well, I'm coming to see you about that. See, I'm not talking about you did it in the past when you ain't know no word. You say you know the word and you gonna sleep with another man's wife? That man say, boy, you ain't innocent, boy. You ain't innocent. We ain't talking about what you did before you knew. Because you got mercy for it. Word came. Man, you know how many people probably been out here slaying people wild, man, didn't know it. You know what I'm saying? Did know it. You know, everybody got a song about it. Look here, right? Nigga got upset with the dude who got upset because he didn't want Kiki Palmer for whole booty out. And they were like, well, they ain't married. Let me tell you something, man. You put a baby in a woman, you've been living in the house with her, and she ain't your wife, I damn sure don't know what is. You know what I'm talking about? Because a marriage license downtown ain't gonna make it no realer than that. I ain't talking about y'all had a baby, y'all just had a baby. I'm talking about y'all were living together before you had the baby. Then you get her pregnant, you were living with her while she was carrying the baby. You was there when she had the baby, and y'all lived together after she had the baby. Come on, man. The only thing they missing is a contract between themselves. The one with the state ain't gonna make it no realer. That's a whole wife experience. See, you know what I'm talking about? That's a whole family. See, that's what people don't understand. The wife experience is not you cooking for the man. The wife experience is you being a helpmeet to the man. That's the wife experience. See, a lot of women think I cook for him. I'm doing wifely duty. I'm be honest with you, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. If you think just cooking for a nigga, you doing wife stuff, you trash as a woman. You complete and utter trash. When I say trash, I mean you're useless. Because you're useless in your womanhood. You don't know nothing about womanhood if you think cooking is wifely duty. Because it's not. That's nothing. That is absolutely nothing. He didn't say cooking was a helpmeet. He said that woman was to be a helpmeet, an aid, a help, and a relief. Ain't that what circle relief? That's what she's supposed to be. How you an aid and a help relief because you cooked some doggone spaghetti? Because you made some lamb chops. That ain't no aid, no help, and no relief. That's a task. Remember what Yahushua told Martha? Martha say, Lord, tell her to help me. He said, Martha, you encumbered with many things. He said, hey, man, he said, Mary done chose the best part. Leave her alone. You know what I'm talking about? I'm laughing like that because y'all think he was talking about another man. He was talking about another woman because Martha was asking him to tell Mary to come help with this food. He told her, he said, baby, you encumbered with a lot of things. He said, but Mary had chosen the best part. That ain't going to get taken away from her. You leave her alone. You know what I'm talking about? That's what he told her. What is that? They didn't see that. They think I'm making that. You worry about everything but the Lord, baby. Don't worry about what Martha doing. What Mary doing, Martha. You get them plates right. You know what I'm saying? It be like that sometimes, man. You know what I'm talking about? You get upset. You like, hey, man, why she ain't over here with me? Man, Luke chapter 10, man, verse 38. Luke 10 to 38.
Now it came to pass as they went, they entered into a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha received him into her house. And she had a sister called Mary, which also sat at Yahushua's feet and heard his word. But Martha was cumbered about much serving.
She was coming with much what?
Serving. And came to him and said, Lord,
tell my sister,
does thou not care that my sister have left me to serve alone?
Hey, you heard what he said? He said, you don't care? She left me by myself? She like, this ain't right. Read that part again. And get what? I ain't mad at her. I understand.
But Martha cumbered about much serving and came to him and said, Lord, does thou not care that my sister had left me to serve alone? Bid her therefore that she help me. And Yahushua answered and said unto her, Martha, Martha, thou art careful and troubled about many things.
He said, you careful and trouble. He made, what does careful mean? She anxious. She worrying. And troubled by a lot of things. What he told her though.
But one thing is needful, and Mary had chosen the good part, which shall not be taken away from her.
He said that thing needful, boy. Basically, he told her, man, leave her alone. He handling your business, baby. He wasn't taking away from what she was doing. He understood completely that she was worried and troubled about a lot of things. But he said, look here, man. He said, Mary chose that best part, man. It's needful. When you turn around and look at it, Martha wasn't in it, especially when you go in John 11, Martha wasn't in the position that Mary was in. Remember, Mary is the one who washed his feet. You know what I'm talking about? Mary is the one who anointed his head for his burial. Mary had a lot more going on. Martha didn't have what was going on in her life with sin that Mary did. But when you sit back and you pay attention and you know who's and the background between the two, Martha was always solid in the word. Remember, she the one that said, oh, Lord, I know I see him again at the resurrection of the last day. Martha wasn't out here living crazy. And when I say living crazy, I don't mean that because, you know, a lot of people like to say Mary was a prostitute. It don't say Mary was a prostitute. It says she was a sinner. Whatever that means, she was sinning. I don't know what sin she was committing, and I'm not finna guess nor speculate. You know what I'm talking about? Because it don't matter. She might have liked to drink. Who knows? You know what I'm talking about? No, I'm talking about Mary. Mary might have liked to drink. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, she might have liked to fight. Who knows? I'm just saying. I ain't gonna put no sex sins on her because that's what everybody like to put on people. I ain't gonna put that on that woman. I don't know what her sins were. That was Mary Magdalene that had the 7 devils on the mother's room. That's right, Quran. Quran says she had her eyes on the prize. Because see, that's where a lot of people get it twisted. If they think Mary who washed his feet, Mary Magdalene had 7 unclean spirits in her. You know what I'm talking about? That's the one they try to say the Lord was married to. I seen somebody bury something in that clip. They talk about it was the women who was the ones who came back with the resurrection information. I'm like, man, because men ain't going to no grave or no dead man. You know what I'm talking about? Women will go. They'll go weep. You know what I'm saying? This, that, there, and the third. Ain't no man going to no grave or no dead man. Oh, I understand because, you know, it's a couple Marys in there, so shoot. I get it. You know what I'm saying? She said sometimes she get them confused. Yeah, they say that Mary Magdalene was the hoe, but they also say that Mary's sister Lazarus was a hoe. But Mary was not a hoe. Mary Magdalene was not a hoe. Mary Magdalene had 7 unclean spirits in her. You know what I'm talking about? They try to make her be out to be a prostitute and try to say, look at the Lord, he married a prostitute. Man, let me tell you something. If Yahushua were going to marry a woman, she was going to be a virgin, you jackass. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know what type of man you taking for, but he would have married a virgin.
I don't be seeing why niggas be thinking he gotta have a lady if he created. He dating his own creation.
You know why people feel like he got to have an old lady? Because these boys led by their wee-wee, so they can't believe there's a man who was so dedicated to the word and to the Abba and Shamahim that laying with a woman was the least of his concerns. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
To make him like a human.
Make him like us.
Right.
He care about coochie like me.
Yeah.
I don't care about that. Did he not have them impulses? Absolutely. You know how we know it? Because he was in the flesh. But the aspect of his desires to complete the mission was greater than sexual gratification. See, the difference between him and us is you didn't have the mission from the time that you were born and aware of the mission to discipline yourself enough to say that I'll complete the mission more than doing this. You just was out here floating. So whatever urges you had, guess what? And now, hey, stop it. This ain't no thumb work, no place. It's not the time nor the place. See, this is one of the things you had to sit back and look at, man. It's all good, bro. I ain't saying nothing. Quran says someone at work said they seen a documentary that Mary was married to Jesus, and he said I was arrogant because I told him I'm sure that's incorrect. You know, a lot of people want to believe he had. That's what they call it. The Holy Blood, Holy Grail. I told you I read that book. That's where that come from. That's what the Da Vinci Code is based off of. It's based off the book Holy Blood, Holy Grail, because the dude sued Dan Brown. The man who wrote Holy Blood, Holy Grail sued Dan Brown, and they won. Holy Grail is that the bloodline of Yahushua, and it's contained in the Merovingian dynasty in France. And that's it. It's a French bloodline, and all the royalty in the world are basically descendants of a Mashiach from the child that he had with Mary Magdalene. You know what I'm talking about? That's an utter blasphemy, to be dead honest with you. You know what I'm talking about? But you know, that's here and there, and a conversation for another day. Where you at, man? Yeah, we good at Luke 10. I do want y'all to see that, man. Because I know, because see, there's a difference, right? Most women, when the feast day come in, they don't want to serve, but you ain't really trying to get no word. You're just being sorry. You know what I'm saying? See, you can tell when somebody like, hey, boy, that best part because you locked in. You know what I'm saying? You ain't chit-chatting with your friends. You ain't sitting nowhere near your friend. You locked in on, I'm trying to get their word. The time you just don't want to do nothing, and you trying to act like I'm trying to listen. You ain't trying to listen. You ain't trying to do nothing, and you think nobody know the difference. And when I say you think nobody know the difference, I ain't talking about nobody in the room. I'm talking about the host in heaven. You think they don't know the difference? You can fool us. You can't fool them. Yes, sir. Yeah. Quran said that's where the name of the dude in the Matrix come from. The French dude in the Matrix. Yeah, man, that's what I read that book in prison, man. Holy Blood, Holy Grail. I read the whole book. You know what I'm saying? I ain't read the Da Vinci Code because it was fiction. I don't want to read that, John. But it's based off of Holy Blood, Holy Grail is not a fiction book. It is an informational piece of literature. Like they're presenting a theory like it's fact. You know what I'm talking about? Like it's not just a novel. It's not a novel. You know what I'm saying? This is they researching, claiming that the bloodline of Yahushua is still in the earth. That is what Holy Blood, Holy Grail is about. Dan Brown took that element from that book and incorporated it into Da Vinci Code, which of course turned into the movie that Tom Hanks. Oh, I can't recall. It's been a research book.
Scientific theory.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a research book. It's not a novel. Like Da Vinci Code is like they're not telling a story.
Right. Theory.
Yeah, and they believe it to be true. I mean, Ronald Reagan believed he was from the tribe of Dan. He said it out of his mouth. You know what I'm talking about? He from a lot of things. He tribe of Dan ain't one of them. Ronald Wilson Reagan was a lot of things, boy. He talking about. He said one thing I can say is we did not trade guns for hostages. He said it was cocaine. See, that's before y'all time. I'm gonna leave that alone. Y'all know what I'm talking. Yeah, you know they were selling cocaine back then. You know Ronald Reagan selling coke, man, a lot of coke. The Ron Contra affair. That's for real though, man. I told y'all about that. You know about it, though. Well, the boy got caught selling cocaine and nobody went to jail. I'm not even being funny, man. You can look this stuff up. I remember this because I was watching it. And I may have not understood anything was going on, but I understood niggas got caught selling drugs, man. Nobody went to jail, man. This is 1987. Iran Contra affair, man. Doggone Oliver North still got a TV show on Fox News to this day. These niggas got caught selling coke. Nobody went to jail. And they had live hearings on TV every day that basically exposed that these niggas got caught selling coke with Manuel Noriega, man. Nobody went to jail. Like Oliver North got caught. They made him the fall guy. The nigga got rich. You know what I'm saying? It was known George Bush daddy was selling coke. Ronald Reagan said, man, I don't know nothing about this. I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm talking about? These niggas got caught, man. They public record, man. This public record. This out there. Been out there. I told you this 1987. Out there. Ron Contra affair. It was some hostages in Iran, and they supposed to trade in guns for hostages and use that as a cover to sell coke from Panama. Yeah, man, that was going on, man. They was selling a whole lot of coke. Man, you good, GP, man. It's all good. Go ahead, man. Go back to Genesis 4. What verse you start at? Genesis 4. Hey, Elizabeth.
We were talking about him being a fugitive in the vagabond.
Yeah. Read that verse.
Okay, that's 14.
Genesis 4 and 14.
Behold, you have driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from your face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass, everyone that findeth me shall slay me.
Everyone that find me
shall slay me.
Go ahead. What he told you?
And you will say unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And Yahuwah set a mark upon Cain, lest any findings him should kill him. And Cain went out from the presence of Yahuwah and dwelt in the land of Nod.
Went out from the presence of who?
Yahuwah.
Now come back to Revelation 12. See, can anybody take out Satan? Even if you find him, you can't do nothing to him. Satan been marked. Where you start that in Revelation 12? What it say?
Between the Father and the Son.
That between the Father and the Son. They ain't got nothing to do with you.
Let me check my son.
I done heard people talking about if I ran across a demon, you ain't gonna do nothing but shake your knees, nigga. Because the boy seen angels and was terrified. I don't know what you think you gonna do with a demon. But boy, then you see an angel. That man said, I fell on the ground dead. And Gabriel was there to help him out. When Samson people seen one, they say, boy, we finna die. That boy was scared. Let me tell you something, man. This here ain't being funny. Boy, if you come in anything that come from you, boy, you know how the text describe him, man? Fearful and dreadful. That's how he described. Fearful and dreadful. You ain't come across no angel. It ain't like TV was touched by an angel with Della Reese. Ain't no Michael Landon. I forget the name of the show. Some white man. Highway to Heaven. He was an angel walking around helping people. You know what I'm talking about? They lied to you with touched by an angel, because an angel gonna be a lot of things. A fat black woman ain't one of them. You know what I'm talking about? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Big Mama ain't no angel. People like, oh yeah, my grandma died, she my angel. No, she not. I hate to be the one to tell you, ain't no female angels in heaven, man. It's all men. I want to try to tell you, I guess God gave, if that's what you want to try to tell yourself. I done heard plenty of people say that. If it ain't no men up there, where the women at? And they try. Some are bold enough to say he's homosexual, and some are just only will insinuate. You do have to be a strong there. Number one, but see, this is the thing, right? Individuals look at Yahuwah as if he is a man and has the desires of a man. So for some people, It's the same token, right? You'll hear women say, oh, the man got to be gay. He want to hang with his homeboys all the time. When they wouldn't understand that there's no tangible benefit to his manhood by hanging with you all the time. That's not a negative to you as a woman. You as a woman cannot make him a better man simply because you are a woman. You are a receiver. You do not have the information, the skill, the wisdom, the understanding to be transmit information to him that he'll be a better man by being in your presence. Secondly, the most of the time that you want to be in his presence is only to do things for your pleasure. You know what I'm talking about? And for his attention. Now, if he's just hanging out with dudes and they ain't doing nothing but getting drunk, wasting time, he might as well just stay at home. You know what I'm talking about? But if he has a circle of men who can hold him accountable to actually push him to be a better version of himself, then yes, it's going to kind of benefit him more to be in their presence, because there's things that he can get from men that he can't get from you. It's just unfortunately that the first thing you go to think of is pleasure. You know what I'm talking about? Or most of the time, maybe you think that, you know, women who say that, I'm not saying none of y'all, women who say that, maybe they interact with their friends in a particular way, not necessarily sexual, so you think men are doing the same when they interact. Because if I got something I want to build my business, I'm not hanging out with a bunch of women. Because the woman doesn't want to, she has the ideas, but she doesn't want to be the executor. So what's the point of being around you? I want to be around people who executed in the same area that I'm seeking to execute in, so I can get the information I need so I can execute. Because you can give me the ideas, but 9 times out of 10, you don't want to put in the work. See, ideas is good, but the work is harder, and that's the part nobody don't want to do. I can't get godliness from sitting with you. Because you're looking from that from me. That's the same token, right? At the end of the day, Yahushua told his apostles, I'm going where? Somewhere you can't go. Because ask yourself this question. Would it be beneficial for Yahushua to stay down here with man, or go back and host of Malachim a whole bunch of individuals that just like him? What benefit he was going to get from staying down here with us for an extended period of time? None. You know what I'm talking about? It ain't gonna no benefit. There's no benefit he getting from that. So he need to be with his father. He need to be with the host of Malachim. And that's why we need to become sons of Elohim, so we can be with them, because it's gonna benefit us more to be with him than be with man. But we don't look at it like that, because everything we look at it from a negative aspect, because you're looking at it from the prism of your emotions. Why wouldn't he want to be with me? It's not that he don't want to be. This is if this nigga hang with his homeboys all the time. Most niggas come home. It's only a handful of dudes that hang out on a regular basis if they're not working. You know what I'm talking about? And I don't think it's too many godly men hanging out in the street and they not working. You know what I'm saying? Or they not kicking it with the brothers for a particular rhyme, reason, and purpose. You know what I'm talking about? Because at this point, nigga too old just to be hanging out. If you got a nigga who hanging out, I would wager y'all probably young. Because I know once you get to about 30, that hanging out junk go out the window. You know what I'm talking about? Doing nothing. I ain't put the meme up there though, and it's a true story. You can have 15 men hanging with each other, having a full conversation, and nobody ask each other what their name is. You know how many times I've been around somebody say we got stopped by the police, and you be like, you know his name? I be like, no, I don't know that nigga's name. But you say you know him. I do know him. And you don't know his name? I never asked, and he never told. I done been around people, they be like, you don't know his government name? I be like, no. How you don't know his government name? Because he ain't tell. I ain't asked. He said his name was Black. That's what his name is. I don't give a damn what his government name. I'm not asking this man all these damn questions. You know what I'm saying? Look here, man. Man, if I ain't go to school with you, look here, if I ain't go to school with you, I ain't know your government name. Man, you know how many women couldn't dare be hanging around somebody and not know their government name? What your name is, girl? Where you went to school at? What your mama them name is? Man, men don't ask each other no type of thing. C-Ray. Who is that? C-Ray. Man, you know how many people only know me as boss? They don't even know what my first name is. Matter of fact, when I got arrested, with the girl do man with Radisha Marie, and the police asked her what my name was, and she was like, boss. And he was like, so you say you deal with him and you don't know his name, and they came to me. How she don't know your name? I said she never asked. He didn't know what to say to that. I said, nigga, she never asked. I would have volunteered. Nigga didn't ask. Nigga asked, I would have told her. She didn't ask. That's it. I don't care to know your name. You know what I'm talking about? You know that black people stuff, man. You know we nigga be like this here. All right, shoot. That's cuz. Nigga walk around calling nigga cuz. He ain't even related to him. Don't even know the nigga name. Yeah. Nigga walk around telling the dude, what's up, uncle? That ain't even your uncle. You done see this man for 5 years calling him uncle. Don't know his name. You know what I'm saying? That's how I be though. But that's just because women like to connect on a more personal level. You know what I'm talking about? Men like to connect on common interests. You know what I'm talking about? And shared experiences. Oh, I know a few girls with nicknames. You know what I'm talking about? But you know, as they get older, they don't really like to get called by their nicknames as they age. Because it was definitely a girl who went to school with her nickname was Baby Girl. And yeah, we don't call her that no more. She don't prefer that. You know what I'm talking about? Get to a certain age, you a little bit too old to be like, baby girl. But come on, man. Shoot, at the end of the day, shoot, the Lord gave Peter a nickname, could call him Cephas. His name ain't Cephas. That man's name was Peter. He said, your name, Cephas. You know what I'm talking about? That's what it is. Your name, Cephas. And get what? Ain't too many people called him Cephas either, but the Lord. You know what I'm talking about? I think if Paul wrote in the letter, he called him Cephas. That's the rock. You know what I'm talking about? You smell what I'm cooking? Straight up. That's what Peter told him. You know what I'm talking about? Finally, the rock has come back to Jerusalem. That's what he told him. He ain't never leave them. I'm trying to tell you, that's why he was the rock, because he had that fire on it. Ready. You know what I'm talking about? Shoot, at the end of the day, you can say the same thing for Shaul, man. Like this here, your name, Paul. You know what I'm talking about? That ain't the same as a nickname, because Cephas is more of a nickname. Well, your name, Cephas. That boy came up on the other boy, y'all the sons of thunder. Well, I seen the dude say, you had the sons of thunder, we got the daughters of lightning. I said, come on, man. He did. I said, that boy, that wild. He was talking about two women in his congregation. I said, that boy, that wild. That boy said, the daughters of light. I said, he tried. It don't ring the same. But he tried. Didn't work for him. But hey, what's supposed to work for me is supposed to work for them. Come on, man. I think we finished on his vagabond status. So Revelation 12 and 5 is finished.
And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up to Elohim to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, but she had the that they should feed her there 1,260 days. And there was a war Shamahim, Michael and his Malachim fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his Malachim, and prevailed not. Neither was there a place found any.
Now, there's a difference because, of course, Abel didn't fight against Cain. We're just dealing with the aspect of Cain rebelled the same way that the serpent rebelled, and there was no place found for Cain because of his rebellion, the same way that there's no place found for the serpent because of his rebellion. Continue.
It says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. Mm-hmm. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
And what it told you that Cain was cast out. You got to go to Nod. Tell them what Nod means. That's when everybody come out. Where the people in Nod came from? That ain't none of my business.
Where he got his wives from?
Shoot, from Nod.
Nod, see? You got a Nod.
One thing for certain, two things for sure. I don't exercise myself, and matters ain't got nothing to do with me.
Why did
Because they be looking to
just about false.
or the fact of, okay, I can't explain something. I need to come up with a doctrine to explain it versus just saying, because Yahuwah hadn't given that information, that's not for me to know. So I'm not finna act like or attempt to try to explain something like that, because if he wanted me to know that information, he would have shared it.
And it just say the word means babies. It means land of wonder.
A land of a wanderer.
Land of exile.
Land of separation. So when he got sent to Nod, guess what that means he getting sent to? Lake of fire. Send you to the valley of Himnod. Let's get it. Isaiah 66 and 24. That means you're going to the valley of Jehoshaphat.
It says, and they shall go forth and look on the carcass of the men that have transgressed against
Valley of Tophet.
Their worms shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be a horror unto all.
Because what is the Valley of Tophet? It's a place of exile, ain't it? Yeah, well, guess what? And why is Cain going to that exile? 1 John chapter 3, verse 11. See, that's when they'll come in. See, he was of that wicked one. See, Eve had sex with the serpent. I'd be like, what, Rob? Why y'all want people to have sex with angelic beings so bad? Because you ain't getting none? I never understood that. 1 John 3 and 11.
It says, for this is the message that ye had heard from the beginning, that we should love one another, not as Cain was the wicked one and slew his brother, and wherefore slew him, because of his own works were evil and his brother's righteous.
His own works were what?
Evil.
And his brother's what?
Righteous.
At the end of the day, that's why the serpent bucked in heaven, because his works was evil and Yahushua's was righteous. Go ahead.
Marvel not, my brethren, if the world hates you, we know that we have passed from death unto life, because we have loved the brethren.
Mm-hmm.
He that loveth not brethren abideth in death.
That's right.
It says, whosoever hated his brother is a murderer.
Is a what?
Is a murderer.
Is a what?
A murderer.
And get what? He hated Adam. That what made it. You understand that what the serpent did to Adam was what he wanted to do to Yahushua. So since he couldn't get his hands on Yahushua, he did it to Adam. Well, let me say Yahuwah. Since he couldn't do it to Yahuwah, he did it to Adam. That's all that was. That's why it's hatred between the woman's seed and the serpent's seed. That's why God's children always have pressure with Satan's children. Go ahead.
And ye know that no murderer hath eternal life abiding in him.
That's why we know. Guess what? Now let's take a pause for a second, right? Let's talk about our good old friend Saul. Now how you know Saul going to hell? You know how you know why Saul going to hell? Not because I want him to go. Not because I got a problem with him. In his interactions with David, did he not hate David without a cause? And that means if he hated him without a cause, that means he was a what? And then he actually manifested that by trying to murder the man. And then when the man said on a couple of occasions when he spared him, well, you more righteous than I. Then he turned right around and tried to do what? Murder the man. Now, if we're going to take the text for what it take it for, and you hate your brother without a cause, well, you was a murderer, and he say ain't no life in you. And it's not no life in it because we don't want to have no life in it. That means God ain't in him because the pride of life is in his heart. Come on with it.
It says, hereby perceive we love Elohim, because he laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren.
Who say he laid down their lives?
It says, hereby we perceive the love of Elohim, because he laid down his life
so
for us.
So who's the he? That means God did it, not man. Uh-oh. God did that.
And we ought to lay down ourselves, our lives for the brethren.
All right, that's good. That's good. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 4. Only because I told you we needed to revisit this Genesis 4, so that gave us an opportunity to do so. This is dealing with the second half of Proverbs 27:9, the sweetness of counsel, of a hearty man's counsel. I didn't say it, man. Let's drop down here to Genesis chapter 4, man. Verse 23.
It said, Lamech said unto his wives Adah and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken to my speech, for I have slain the man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt.
Paul, tell him what Lamech means. We ain't talked about Lamech in a long time.
It says uncertain.
We don't know. Spell it for me.
Lamar, Mem, and Ka.
Now we dealing with a man who say he killed the young man to his hurt. That's what it said, didn't it? That means Lamech had to be separated for shedding the shepherd's blood.
This one say powerful and another one say uncertain.
A powerful man. And what did he say he did? He said he slain a man to my wounding. Tell him what I slain a man to my wounding. How does that translate?
Slain is smite, to destroy, to murder.
I murdered a man.
To rag. And then wounding is pet star.
So in killing a man, he killed a man to his own hurt. You kill a man to your own hurt. John 15 and 21.
It says, but all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin, but now they have no cloak for their sins.
They have no what?
Cloak for their sins.
They have no what?
Cloak for their sins.
Go ahead.
He that hated me hated my Abba also. If I had not done among them the works which none other man did, they had not had sin.
But now
they both have seen and hated both me and my Abba. But that the word might be fulfilled.
That they hate what?
That is written in their law. They hated me without a cause.
You realize when you hate Yahushua for no reason, you done slain a man to your wounding. You going to the land of Nod, boy. You going to the land of Nod, boy. That's where you going. Back to Genesis chapter 4, man. Tell him what a young man to my hurt means. This verse 23.
Young man is your lad, that is something born, or offspring, a lad, a young man. And then to my hurt is kabura, which is blueness, to bruise, to hurt, to strike, to wound.
He hurt a man and wounded himself. Give me Proverbs 20 and 30. Stinks.
It said the blueness of the wound cleanse away evil, so stripes the inward parts of the belly.
He said the blueness of a wound do what?
Cleanse away evil. So stripes the inward of the belly. That blueness is the same word.
Yeah, I already know. That's why I told you to go around that. So you have blueness of a wound. It does what to the belly?
It cleanses away evil and stripes.
So the blueness of a wound cleanse away evil, and stripes do what to the belly?
The inward part of the belly. The inward part of the belly.
So see, so chastisement gets you perfect on the inside.
Right.
And then the wounds is what gets you clean. But this man turned around and say, I did this, I killed the young man to my own wounding. Sound like what the people did. Let his blood be on our children's children. You did that to your own hurt. I don't know why y'all talking. I need y'all to be quiet. Anybody who had to be taught how to not boo-boo on themselves in the last 5 years, I need you to be quiet. Come on back to Genesis chapter 4, verse 24.
If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly to make 70 and sevenfold.
And Adam knew his wife,
again,
and she
a son,
and called his name what?
Seth.
For Elohim.
Have appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew.
Now tell him what Seth, the definition for Seth. Because we see Seth means he appointed me another what? Seed. That's what it say in the text. But his name means what? To substitute. So he's a substitute son of God is what we would have to sit back and look at. Another seed. Another seed. Let's look at Luke 8 and 11, just on the strength. Look at 8 and 10.
It said, and he said, unto you it is given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of Elohim, but to others in a parable that seeing they might not see, that they hearing might not understand. Now the parable, the seed is the word of Elohim.
The seed is what?
The word of Elohim.
Now, of course, you know that Yahushua is the sower of the seed. but Elohim is giving him another seed. Remember, he said, the ruach that's upon you shall not depart, and the words that I give it unto you shall not depart out of the mouth of your seed, nor the mouth of your seed, from henceforth and forever. And not seeds of many, but seeds of one, that seed being Hamashiach. So Elohim is giving you another seed. And what is this seed that he's giving you? John chapter 3, verse 5.
Says Yahusha answered, truly, truly, I say unto you, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of Elohim. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit is spirit. Marvel not that I say unto thee, you must be born again.
So that's what Seth is representative of, being born again. Now read this last verse of Genesis 4 and 26.
It say, and to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos.
And then
Began men to call upon the name.
and y'all know what Enos mean, right? That's man. It took a compensation or another seed for man to be able to call upon the name of Yahuwah. When we turn over here to Genesis 5 and 1, because all this here is the setup. Genesis 5 and 1, listen to it.
This is the book of the generation of Adam. In the day that Elohim created man in the likeness of Elohim made he him.
Tell them what likeness means, just for those who don't know what the
Likeness
booth is.
is the blue resemblance, a concrete model or shape.
A concrete
Fashion
model.
similar to it.
Similar to. Ain't that what Mashiach said when we read earlier in John 14? If you see me, you see. Continue. Verse 2.
It said that he
They called their name,
and Baruch them and called their name Adam. In the day that they were created.
and Adam lived
130 years.
and begat
His own life.
in his own what?
His own life.
In his own what?
Life.
And after his what?
His image.
They called him what?
Self.
Now tell them what likeness and image is for the people who may not be alive.
Likeness is the move again.
That's similitude.
And image is to slim, which is in the illusion or the resemblance or figure.
And the figure or resemblance of. Remember, he said, Yahuwah, your Elohim is what?
One.
And he said, I come in my Father's name. I come doing my Father's work. When you seen me, you seen the Father, because he's in the Father and the Father is in the Son. That's why they one. They're not separate from one another. See, this is the difference of where, as a society, it's a little different, right? Most people see their son separate from them. They don't see themselves as them and their firstborn son, their only son, as one and the same. He's separate from him. I want him to have his own path and all this old other stuff. You know what I'm talking about? To where that person is not tied to him. Again, that's why you see with Abraham and Isaac, they're tied together. Because what does Isaac's name mean? Laugh. So the father of many nations begat he who laughed. But what does that take us back to? It takes us to that psalm. We say it was like a dream. And then when the captivity came, what did it say we did? When the captivity was removed. I think it's Psalms 126, man. Get it for me. Hey, I steady hear y'all. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear any of you. Psalms 126 and 1.
It says, when Yahuwah turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like him that dreamed. Then was our mouth filled with laughter.
It was filled with what?
Laughter.
It was filled with Isaac. Come on.
And our tongue was singing. Then said they among the heathen, Yahuwah have done great things for them.
Amen.
Yahuwah have done great things for us.
Amen.
We are glad.
We are what?
We are glad.
What up?
Turn again our captivity, O Yahuwah, as the streams in the south. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy.
Shall reap in what?
In joy.
Okay.
He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed.
Bearing precious who?
Seed.
Uh-oh.
Shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing sheaves. Him.
Now that's good. I don't want you to see that aspect because Isaac is the only begotten son of Abraham, correct? He the Yaked. You know what I'm talking about? He is the one of the promise because that is who Yahuwah promised to Abraham. Now, Yahuwah didn't promise a seed to Adam for losing Seth, but he gave him another seed or a compensation for the son that he lost. who was a keeper of the sheep, which means he, remember, right? Y'all hear that all the time when they say men were hunters. And maybe men were, but the men of Yasharal weren't. The same way they tell me, you know, in the caveman days, our people never lived in a cave. I'm saying this because what different cultures of people did is not emblematic of what every man in every culture did. Because your forefathers were not hunter-gatherers. Your forefathers were shepherds and husbandmen. That's what they did. I don't care what the Romans did. Matter of fact, what did the book say? We were an abomination to the Egyptians because we were what? Because we were shepherds. They hated. And what does a shepherd do? A shepherd cares and tends to his flock. He has care for his beasts. There's a reason why your forefathers had that type of occupation. And it had nothing to do but because shepherding or husbandry was such a great work. It's because it was the labor that he wanted you to understand of how he interacted with you. What did David say about his sheep when he was finna ride out on Goliath? What did he tell him? What did he say? The mouth of a lion and the paw of a bear. But he used that in the reference. Why did Yahuwah deliver him from the mouth of a lion and the paw of a bear? Because David was protecting his sheep. And not only his sheep, his father's sheep. When you look at King, why did he run into Samuel? Why did they go holler at Samuel? His daddy lost his sheep. He went to go seek out his flock. That sounds familiar, though. And he didn't want to come back until he brought back all of them. And they rejoiced. Didn't he say, if you got 100 sheep and you get and one go away and you find the one, you come back rejoicing? Didn't Saul come back rejoicing when they found them sheep? When they found that cattle? See, we don't even pay attention to that's why your forefathers participated in that type of activity. The sowing of the seed for the bearing of fruit. So that when he came through with those parables, you could understand how he interacts with you. Because at the end of the day, out of Cain and Abel, which one was the one that, what did Cain do for a living? It said he was a tiller of the ground. What was Adam's occupation? He was a tiller of the ground. What did Cain do for a living? Abel do for a living. Said he was a keeper of the flock. And who was the one that Yahuwah liked the most? The one that kept the flock, that guarded the sheep, that watched over the people. You know what I'm talking about? See, we can't turn. What did Noah? How did Noah end up getting drunk? What he was doing? He was planting the vineyard because he was a husbandman. That man wasn't out there hunting nobody. This is the part you want to look at. From Genesis, from Adam to Noah, what would anybody be hunting for? Them men were vegetarians. They wasn't eating animal flesh till after the flood. So who they hunting? What they hunting for? Oh, they don't want to talk about that.
I thought it was off of the clean out the sacrifice.
It's just sacrifice.
They want to eat the sacrifice.
Toss it, burn it.
Yeah, because Genesis 7, he was like, the animal's going to be meat for you.
Yeah, they didn't get the chance. The animal flesh being sanctioned didn't happen until after the flood. The boys ain't eat no flesh. So ain't no need to hunt no animals. You ain't eating them. You know what I'm talking about? But you hunt them for. You know what I mean? But even still after that, your forefathers when you read about any one of your forefathers out here hunting. That's not to knock hunting. But that's not what your forefathers did. Because that's what people like to say, the men are hunters. You're supposed to pursue what you want. Nigga, I pursue food to live. So what the hell I'm hunting a woman for? I don't need you to live. What, you want me to catch you and eat you? No, I ain't talking about no Cornelius. They ain't talking about that. I'm talking about, because if I'm hunting you, that means I got to kill you and cook you. Shalom, Sister Jackson. That means I got to kill you and cook you. I ain't do that. That's too much for me. God had told me before, marriages were arranged. So what was a man pursuing a woman for? Your daddy went and worked that out with her daddy. Ain't nobody pursuing nobody. Let me tell you something. I've been telling you this here, and it was on my mind earlier today, man. And I've been telling you that. That they know because the lady was talking about that. She was like, attracted to their husband. Something. I'm like, man, back in the day, these women ain't dating no way. Dating leads to whoredom. That's all it lead to. You talk about a man pursuing you and leading you with a wet behind and a dry pocket and a defiled name. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm just going to that the man's supposed to pursue is how you end up being proved. Because if he pursuing you, he only pursuing you for one reason, and that's them yams. Sweet, sweet yams. Slightly drizzled. Candied yams. That's it. That's it. That's all that happened. Because if that's happening, that means you a woman who unsupervised. That means you a woman unsupervised. That's what people don't understand. That's a woman unsupervised. You want to deal with the word, you're supposed to be being supervised. I told you I had one girl, man, she said she left her daddy house because she wanted to be unsupervised. Because that man was like, you going to stay here till you get married. And you want to be out here playing with wee-wees. Now you done took yourself through a whole lot of pain and aggravation in your life when you could have just stayed in your daddy's house. But you know why you didn't want to stay in your daddy's house? Because you like bum niggas and you didn't want to bring them bum niggas home to your daddy. That's what happened. You know what I'm talking about? You got a daddy and you talking about pursuing niggas pursuing you. Why you would, if your daddy is that great of a man, why wouldn't you want your daddy to pick a man for you? If you respect and value your daddy like you say you do, then you would want your daddy to pick a man for you. He might pick a nigga who ugly, then you don't want no man then. You want somebody you find physically appealing, and then you feel like you can turn him into the man that you want him to be, and then you just gonna have a lifetime of misery because you're gonna be dealing with subpar men over and over again, and then you're gonna be one of them people that say these men ain't this and these men ain't that. It's your taste in men that's bad. That's what your daddy's supposed to do. Your daddy's supposed to pick your husband. That's how it's supposed to go. So when you see a woman and she don't really want to involve her daddy and she's still in her youth, see, I get it if she in her 30s. You know what I'm talking about? Or late 20s. She's probably just like, you know what? You done had a little bit too much experience. You don't really want to get him involved. But when you still young and you say you value and respect your daddy and you ain't got him involved in the men you dealing with, you don't really value and respect your daddy like you say you do. I'm talking about when you in your early teens, early 20s. Why wouldn't you have your daddy involved in that if you say you respect him like you say you do? Because you don't really want him to vet the men that you like because you know them niggas trash. You already know he trash. And you know your daddy gonna tell you, stop bringing them cornball niggas over here. Why you keep bringing them niggas over here? You know what I'm talking about? I just seen something, man, when they were talking about Jamie Foxx and his daughter, and he was trying to do something to protect his daughter, and he told his daughter, and I guess they was in Paris, and the dude she was messing with left her. And he was like, any man who care and love you will never leave you. She said, well, you got 2 kids by 2 different women, so you can't talk. See, I'd have kicked her in her teeth and put her out my car. You know what I'm talking about? You rude, disrespectful bastard, you. Because now you done stepped out of child's place. You don't know what dynamic me and your mama had going on. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm going to kick you out the car for. Not because what you said might have been truthful, but the fact that you stepped outside of child's place. Yeah, you ain't grown enough to speak on me and your mama. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just being honest with you. I wouldn't care if you were 35 years old. You ain't got no business speaking on what your mama and your daddy had going on. That ain't your place. Whatever they had going on, that between them and them. They ain't got nothing to do with you. Keep your mouth closed and hold your peace, man. Because you don't know what type of woman your mama was. You don't know what type of man your daddy was. It could have been both of them. It could have been one of them. It could have been none of them. It could have been 2 grown people who didn't really know each other that well, and they were having physical fun, and here you come 9 months later. Now they trying to act like trying to be with each other, and they see that they ended up having a child with somebody who they didn't even know, and they were just being irresponsible with their genitals, and that's the cost of it. You know how many people got kids with people they don't even really know? You know what I'm talking about? You don't even really know this person like that. Now you got a baby with him, and you try to be with him because you got a baby with him, and then all that does is just exacerbate the fact that you don't really know this person like that. And now the interaction get even uglier because you realize I shouldn't have had a baby with a nigga I don't know. You know what I'm talking about? We don't like to talk about that. See, y'all ain't got them problems. Y'all all had babies with people you know. Look at you, so I sure did. That nigga be ready to look that fake. That nigga be lying. You know what I'm saying? It's always best that you, as a woman, that you at least get 12 months of knowing a man before you push out a baby for him. You know what I'm talking about? That would be ideal. Of course, you know what I'm saying? You'd be his wife, but it would be ideal that you at least have 12 months of experience around the man. That's not ideal.
Now it takes 12 hours.
That's not ideal. I said ideal.
12 hours.
I'm just talking about ideally. You would like 12 months to know somebody before you make the greatest decision in your life. To replicate his DNA. Because you're risking your life to replicate his DNA. So ideally, you would at least want 12 months of earned time of knowing this person. Because you know they say when y'all go into the hospital, y'all 3 to 4 times more likely than anybody else to not come out. I said ideally. And I'll be honest with you, that's minimum. Because it's more risk for the man not knowing you than it is for you not knowing him. Because you look at, well, I got the baby. Man, look at, man, a woman can ruin a man's life. A baby can't ruin your life. It might make it a little bit more difficult than you desire, but it can't ruin your life. A woman can ruin a man's life with no baby. With no baby. And that's just being honest, man. And that's not saying that women are bad. I'm just saying that the power that a woman has in her interaction with a man to ruin his life is greater than the interaction that he has with her to ruin her life. It just feels more ruined to you because you like, I got this baby by myself and this, that, there, and the third. But that's your life ain't ruined. Ain't nobody ever sent you to prison for having a baby. It's niggas who've been sent to prison behind a woman, man. It's a nigga who done lost everything he done ever had behind a woman. See, if a woman get taken down through there financially with a man, it's because she was too open with a man who wasn't worthy of that type of interaction. And she knew it and did it anyway. You know what I'm talking about? Versus that man moving in a malicious and spiteful fashion with the intent to destroy her. Some women move with the intent to destroy. We all laugh about a thin line between love and hate. That woman moved with the intent to destroy. Now, did that nigga provoke that? Yeah, he did. But nevertheless, a woman could provoke a man. He's not doing that. He's not doing that. He's not doing that. It's one ultimate penalty that a man will go to that a woman won't majority of the time. And that's him taking her life. But what he gonna take her life for? Because he really don't want nobody else to be with her. You know what I'm talking about? So he'll be like, if I can't have her, nobody can. That nigga weird anyway. I ain't finna look at nobody and be like, if I can't have you, nobody can. Shoot, the world can have you. Because I'm not finna fight for somebody who don't want to be there. Not kill him. You gonna go kill him. That coochie wasn't that good. It couldn't have been. No, I'm just talking about in general. Because women are more malicious and spiteful in general than men are. Sit around and talk about how he wanted to destroy a woman's property. Y'all niggas used to ride around singing, I'ma bust your windows out your car. And niggas think that's just cute and acceptable. It's not. Setting clothes on fire. Niggas around here talking about it. Look, waiting to exhale. She burning nigga clothes, bleaching nigga clothes, breaking nigga stuff. You're doing that with the intent to injure a person internally. You know what I'm talking about? Most dudes is not finna do that. He's not finna go set your panties on fire, burn up your good sheets, break your good china. He ain't doing all that. He just finna slide. When the man get to the stream that a woman gonna get to, he gonna kill it. And that's a whole nother type of deal. And guess what? You usually get caught up with men like that when you don't cycle them men through the men in your family or the men around you, because you don't want them to tell you that the man that you're attracted to, you don't need to be messing with. Damn. What she just said, man. She said that happened to one of her dad's father's best friend got killed by the hands of a baby father, talking about if he couldn't have her, nobody could, and he shot her in the head in front of the kids. I was just like that movie we was looking at, If I Can't. That's just what that nigga went and did. But you know what? You seen them? She's supposed to die. And you know why she's supposed to die? Because you knew you were dealing with a nigga who was crazy like that, and you invited him to your going away party. You do not invite a nigga nowhere who you know will put his hands on you. You don't invite him nowhere. You don't have no dealings with him. You get away from him. You don't tell him where you going. You don't tell him. You don't give him your phone number. The reason why I say that, because you underestimating somebody thinking about what they ain't gonna do. If that man crazy enough to put his hands on you and tell you if nobody can have you, if I can't have you, nobody can, he'll kill you. Take him seriously. As soon as that nigga pulled up, boy, I'd have called the police. You know what I'm talking about? And our mama seen the nigga fire on his head. As soon as I seen the fire, I'd have called the police. This crazy nigga can't get from around here. You know what I'm talking about? I'm calling the police on this nigga. But let me tell you something, man. I don't care who it is. Do not take lightly somebody threatening your life. If somebody can look you in the face and say, I'll kill you, believe it. You don't be sitting around here talking about, nah, he'll never do that. At your funeral. You know what I'm talking about? Don't play them type of games. Yeah, don't play them type of games. And prayerfully, I would hope you tell your daughter that. You know what I'm talking about? Don't play no games with no dude talking about, don't no man who love you gonna talk about he gonna take your life. No. That's no, absolutely not. Leave that nigga alone. Get away from him. You know who that is? See, that's the thing. See, this is, and I say all that because that's how the devil works, ain't it? He'll look you dead in the face and tell you he gonna kill you. And you keep fooling with him. May I help you, Abby? Huh? Oh, you just want to be over here? What we holding, man? Yeah, don't take that for no joke, man. Don't take that for no game, man. You know, shoot, it's pretty much everybody in here except for a couple of y'all got daughters, so I would hope you be like this here. Shoot. I'm picking. You might have to square off with what man? She might be like, she can go out here and pick somebody. You might have to square off too. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, we fight by it.
She was that left route, but none of her dudes gonna get something. She ain't bringing around.
No, they ain't. But see, that's the only difference why that's gonna happen. Saying y'all instances is because the mother would empower them that they don't have to do that, to try to diminish how important that is. But prayerfully, you will give them a different type of mind to understand. You know what I'm talking about? Nah, baby, did you let him talk to your dad? You know what I'm talking about? Dead serious. You know what I'm talking about? Because most of y'all lost your virginity to a dude who didn't meet your dad. A dude who you ain't even think about taking to your dad. You know what I'm talking about? And probably some of the most negative relationships you probably ever had were dealing with dudes who you ain't take to your dad. That's not to say if you take a dude to your daddy that you might not have a negative interaction with the person. But at least your daddy could be able to tell you, I don't like that nigga.
But he have enough wisdom and knowledge to discern that nigga doing.
Yeah, like, I don't like him. Why you don't like it, daddy? He had boogers in his nose. He ain't pick him out. And I told him it was in there. He just left. He chew like a horse. Who knows? It's important only because a woman gonna pick somebody based on how he make her feel. But he may not necessarily be the right man for her to be dealing with. Oh no, I definitely know that a lot of women be scared to leave a dude who going upside their head. You know what I'm talking about? But I always just try to iterate. You know what I'm talking about? That man putting his hands on you, baby, just slide. You get him. And when I say that, meaning don't let it get too far. You know what I'm talking about? Don't keep coming back for a rematch. Cause that's how you get tied into where you don't leave, cause you stay in there and y'all around here fighting and boxing. You know what I'm talking about? Then you get caught in that cycle. It's just like what that same movie. They sit in that car. That whole said so that nigga reached over and pow! That nigga said, if you want something slow and green, ho, get a turtle. Oh, them days been gone.
They traveling the world, man.
They traveling the world, dolo. Them days been gone. Talking about this wrong. She said he finna shap this wrong, all right. You know what I'm talking about? But you know, I done had Red Cross Bruce who was like, people need a chaperone. But I was like, man, I'm not chaperoning no 30-year-old woman. You know what I'm talking about? You chaperone young people. I can't chaperone somebody who got kids they putting in the bed. You would just have to know how to govern yourself at that point. You know what I'm talking about? And what do you look like sitting around? I'm sitting over here. What you doing chaperoning this 33-year-old woman? You know what I'm talking about? You talking about the one she got 3 kids? I'm not doing that. I'm chaperoning brother James over here. Hey, brother James, about 45? Yeah. I had to come out there with him. Yeah, at that point, you got to know how to govern yourself. At that point, your love for you got to be greater than somebody watching over you. But I ain't going to tell you no lie. Don't no little girl need to be dating. Dating for what? What is you dating for? Go out with a little boy for what? To do what? She want to go to a goddamn movie, she can go with her daddy. She want to go to the doggone miniature golf, she can come with me. Hell, I look like sitting home with a little boy to go do it. Because that's what they told you that's what's supposed to happen. But you say you don't like the white man and white supremacy, though. That's where you got it from. Then the nigga just go out for a dinner, she can eat with me. She been doing it. It was never a problem to go to doggone Golden Corral with me before. Which I don't go there. You couldn't pay me to go to Golden Corral. No, that's just the first thing that came to my mind. I don't really know the acceptable spot that a teenager should be going to. Because I'm not giving my daughter no money to get ramrodded. Because if she going on a date, you giving her money to go. So that means you paying her for a boy to turn your daughter into a harlot. I'm not co-signing that. I've been told you to hear. If you grown enough to cock your legs open, you grown enough to get the hell out of my house. You grown enough to pull your wee-wee out, you grown enough to get up out of my house. Because it's the same thing for the little boy. He ain't going on no date. Go on a date for what? At the end of the day, what is a teenager going on a date? You ain't calling no boys ain't no boy calling my house. And you ain't calling no little heifers from my house either. And if I catch you doing it on a cell phone, I'm going to break that hoe. I don't give a damn about the bill. Man, that's not going on around here, man. You crazy as all outdoors, man. That ain't happening over here. That's how whoredom start. What a 14, 15, 16-year-old girl need to be on the phone with a little boy at 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. What the hell they got going on in their life they need to be talking about for 2-3 hours for? All that's going to lead to, can I see a nipple FaceTime me? That's what it lead to. You done already said them little children sexted in middle school, in elementary school. Yeah, man, come on. 6th grade talking about let me see your titties. No, man. You already know how it started. Because niggas were asking to see titties on the back of the school bus. On the back of the school bus, it wasn't no cell phone. I hope one of y'all showing no titty shots on the back of the bus. I'm going to whoop all you niggas. I don't care if you're grown. You shaking your head like you not dealing. Like you ain't never shown nobody no titty. Now he got to be on the back of the bus. You done showed one. I ain't saying you're showing the whole bus. Some of y'all might have been on the bus with a little boy you like, gave him a sneak peek. See, look at you. Look at you. I'm just saying that's how it started. All of us went to high school. All of us went to middle school. Y'all know what happened. You know what you did or didn't do. You know what you saw. Y'all know some of them kids that was in the bathroom doing nasty stuff. They ain't got to be doing it to everybody. They could have just been doing it with a little boy they was messing with. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all know about it. Some of y'all were grown, skipping school, being grown. You supposed to be in calculus class. You around there giving it. You already know too. You know what I'm talking about? Some of y'all was bringing a different outfit in your backpack than what you left the house in. But one thing about a little boy, if you offer it, he take it. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you offer it, he take it. All I'm saying is, I wish Muffin would. I walk in that house, catch that nigga on the phone with a little boy. That nigga gonna be living on the roof. Cause the head gonna be on the roof and the body gonna be in the house. Cause boy, I'm separating both of them. Hell, we got going on in here. You know what I'm talking about? That's not going on in here. See, I'm different. Child got a cell phone. I'm searching that hole every day. Every day. I'm finna see everybody you call, everybody you text. And if you want to, what about my privacy? Privately buy one, nigga. And privately pay the bill. And if you could do that, you could privately get out my house and pay rent. You can do what you want to do. But while you're living here, I bet I check that hole. Because if I catch a picture of a little boy penis in your phone, boy, you finna go meet the Lord. No, I'm just saying, because it doesn't mean that she asked for the picture. No, I'm saying, I'm not saying like the child, but it's there. He said, that means you having an interaction with somebody I don't approve of. Oh yeah, I'm going through your phone every day. I need to see everybody you're talking to. I better see mama, grandmama, papa. That's all I better see. I don't want to see no friends. Don't call no friends. Matter of fact, I'm blocking everybody's number but your people. You know when people call your phone. Hell, blocking the school. I don't want them to call you neither. Call us. Straight up and down. I'm dead serious, man. Because if ain't nobody else going to moderate and protect her, who going to do it? She ain't going to moderate and protect herself. She don't have the wisdom as a child to know how to protect herself. That's boy or girl. You know what I'm talking about? That doesn't mean that the child is bad. They don't have the wisdom and understanding to know, let me protect myself. This little boy ain't got no business sending me this. This little boy ain't got no business talking to me like this. Man, I look on that phone, I seen you been talking to somebody for over an hour. What the hell y'all been talking about? Because I'm going to call the little bastard. Hell you doing talking to my people on the phone? What you talking to my daughter for? What y'all talking about? Yeah, I bet you would, nigga. Talk about it in school. Don't call this number no more. Yeah, don't call this number no more. But see, the difference is I'm going to tell you how detrimental it's going to be for you to interact with little boys and how it can mess your life up. I ain't just going to be like, don't you talk to them boys and that's over with. No, I'm going to explain something to you. You're getting grown and your hormones getting high. And the little boy hormones getting high. And now you want to start to have a little pleasure in your body. And let me explain to you how that's not pleasing to the Lord and it can be detrimental to your life. And that if I catch you doing it, you get the hell out of my house. Because I done already told y'all plenty of times, it's only two people hunting in this house. That's me and your mom. You know what I'm talking about? That's me and your mom. That's it. That's boy or girl. That ain't just for no girls now. That's boy or girl. Because if you grown enough to pull your penis out, boy, you grown enough to go pay some rent somewhere. And I mean that. You know what I'm talking about? If you grown enough to take your clothes and climb on top of a woman and try to dominate her physically, then you grown enough to dominate your life and pay some rent and get the hell out of my house. Because that's grown people activity. And grown people take care of themselves. So if you can't take care of yourself, I don't know what you're pulling your penis out for. Make a mess. Make a mess of your life. And you're gonna mess your way out my front door. I ain't playing propaganda, man. We ain't doing that. You show better. You better know every person your child interact with. You better know who they talking to. You show better. You sitting around oblivious like your people was. Y'all know what y'all were doing. You know y'all were teenagers blowing on trees. How the hell you even you taking your people money to buy drugs? You ain't got no job, so you took your people money to go buy drugs. You took your people money to go find a grown person to buy you alcohol so you could get drunk and sit up on some hard-headed little boy. Talking about you love him. Why y'all watching Transformers? About to transform.
Roll out.
Gonna be some Optimus Prime in here. Somebody leave. I ain't just telling you that. I'm telling you, because if you don't, you're gonna end up like Cain. You're gonna be a vagabond in the future, a wanderer. Because you're gonna be out here looking for pleasure from every sinner you can come across, and you ain't never gonna find it. Yeah, man, ain't playing on type of game, man. Truth be told, you know what's different now? Because I guess I don't even know why people feel like kids got to have a cell phone. Where is this nigga? Especially if you pick your kids up from school and drop them off to school, then what the hell they need a phone for? They ain't even separated from you know where. See if they go catch the bus and they get off the bus. If you take that nigga to school and pick him up, that nigga don't need no phone. What the hell he gonna use it? If he at school all day, who he calling? If you picking him up, it ain't like he calling you, I need a ride, Mom. You are, I come here every day at 3:30. I know what time you get out. You ain't separated enough long enough for them to need a phone if they with you everywhere they gotta go. Nah, man. Nah, I ain't on that. I've been telling you that now because y'all already know they ain't there yet, but they creeping real close to puberty. You know what I'm saying? See, we forgetting it been so long that these niggas was in diapers that I don't know if the realization done hit that some of them, boys and girls, they creeping up on puberty. And their life is gonna be forever different once puberty set in. Because then they ain't babies no more. They ain't babies now, but they damn sure ain't gonna be babies when puberty hit. Their whole life thought process finna change. You know what I'm talking about? The way they look at the opposite gender is about to change. The way they look at life about to change. Can't be on the sidelines like it ain't no big deal. You know what I'm talking about? That boy say, Django Unchained. I promise to you, boy. Mother don't need no phone. She ain't gonna do nothing but talk people head off. Nigga probably just call her mama from the other room. I just called her. I just want to see what you were doing. Mother looked like she'll call me and be in the living room, muffin in the room. I didn't call the mama to see what she was doing. She'll do that. And not because she's just being sad, because she got a phone and she didn't want to call somebody. I know who she's gonna call. She's gonna call Leah. You gonna call Leah? I'm gonna call Leah. I want to talk to TTK. It's okay. I already know. See, mother won't call. She just gonna want to talk to people, just randomly. About the first week when she got the phone, just call everybody. Just so you know she got a phone. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Because she's gonna be happy. You know what I'm talking about? You want to talk to people. I can call grandma anytime. You know it's funny because when they call her, she don't want to talk to them. She want to talk to people on her own time. What rude niggas. You better watch over. Ain't that right, Abigail? Let's get on out of here, man. Let's 6 o'clock. Hallelujah for y'all who's trying to work, man. Look at that compensation part. But you seen how that laid in with Cain and with Satan?
The adversary was already made for that purpose.
For that purpose. Yeah.
It was like he was already made.
He was made, and at the end of the day, yeah, he was made for that.
Right. Because like on the war aspect, we were talking about the war.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was
Out the blue.
some sort of rebellion. Like,
it's only rebellion for the aspect of the definition of the word pesha. You know what I'm talking about?
that just be an adversary against God.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And to do that, technically, he would need to rebel against the instruction.
But then, the next part was like, it wasn't never peace in heaven. That's what Buddy was saying. In fact, he was saying that it wasn't never peace in heaven. That's why it's supposed to be a new heaven and new earth.
Now that's simple. That. See what he missing with the new heaven and new earth is it's not a new third heaven. It's a new heaven for us. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, then they go back to Genesis 1. In the beginning, Elohim created the heaven
and the earth.
The heaven singular.
Yeah. Because remember, you got three heavens.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So in the beginning, that's the record of what heaven. When he's saying the heaven we can see.
But not the third heaven, like what? Remember when we talked about Ezekiel saying, I got caught up to the throne of Yahuwah, and
that heaven was never made.
It was always there.
Right.
Yeah. It was always there.
Proverbs 8 allude to they was already in Shamayim.
Well, you remember Job 38 talk about that when he say, "What the morning stars shouted for joy when the foundation of the earth was made." So that means they were already in Shamayim before it was done, before the earth was even made.
Right.
But I say you remember the part in Ezekiel where he say, I got caught up. He took me by the lock of my hair to such and such. And then you look. No, I'm talking about this is the aspect that I'm talking about. You would deal with a nigga who say it wasn't no peace in heaven. No, that's not the case. No, he's not making a new heaven, a new earth because of this situation. Because that new heaven that you're referring to, sir, is the heaven that me and you can look at. He's not making a new heaven where he at.
But that's what I'm saying. How did the war with Michael spill over onto earth? In Revelation, it's worded as if his war was falling off of earth.
Oh no, I mean it's worded that way, but no, it wasn't. It wasn't on the earth.
Right. So then it's like it was somewhere outside of earth where there was no peace.
It ain't even look at it as there wasn't no peace.
Well, it was a war.
Just a little battle.
Yeah.
A little tussle.
But then we read there's not going to be no. It's supposed to be peace in the new heaven and the earth. As if there wasn't no peace in the old heaven.
But see, again, it's a new heaven, a new earth ain't got nothing to do with Yahuwah's realm. Ain't got
what
nothing.
realm the angels is on where it wasn't.
See, he interjected that it wasn't no peace. See, not having no peace is a continual state versus I need to get you out of here. Because see, when he interject that statement of it wasn't no peace in heaven, that means you saying that it was continually strife.
I can say that based on just because Satan be in the presence of Yahuwah, that it's always like I was saying just you can look at the story of Job to see that just because Satan do it, they're not fighting because he came to the throne just like hey,
yeah, that's an isolated event. I'm just using the verbiage. He said he, you. So when he said it wasn't no peace in heaven, he said it's continual strife. And it wasn't continual strife.
Because I was just saying that Satan could be in presence of you and it don't be
where they were. I don't believe that they were fighting for I
mean, he told you it was a war fought in heaven. That's what they call that.
Did they fight who it is?
I mean, he don't specify.
Right, that's what I'm asking.
He didn't tell you they fought in heaven.
So you say
so what heaven?
So you say they could fight in the second heaven or something like
that? We know they want to fight over the throne. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he didn't tell you it was a war in heaven. Now whether it was the second or third heaven. It don't specify, but the war was fought in heaven. Where else would they fight it at?
It had to be he's adversarial, so it had to be some sort of a confrontation.
Hey, stop running around playing in this man's house. Hell wrong with y'all.
What he brings, like I say, his characteristics, he's a murderer. He's a liar.
So hold on, man. Jessica asked about earlier if someone get baptized and they say they believe in the Son of the Scriptures. Have they said but they did it out of ignorance? Oh, that just mean it. That didn't mean it. If you get baptized, then you would have need to heard the gospel before you got baptized. Hey! I don't know why y'all got up milling around thinking it was time for you to be on nigga time. So when you take it an instance in Acts chapter 8, just when Philip said, hey, do you believe on the Son of Elohim? And he said, when he was reading out of Isaiah, and he said, who are you talking about? Okay. Muffania. You need to go with big one.
Noah.
He walked up to the Ethiopian eunuch, and the Ethiopian eunuch said, "Does this man speak of himself or some other man?" And then at that point, Philip began to open up the text and preach Yahushua to him. Then, as they were walking, the Ethiopian eunuch said, "What hinders me from being baptized?" There goes some water right there. He said, "Nothing. Do you believe Yahushua, the Son of God?" He said, "I do." He said, "Come on." So basically what happens is, because this is what we were talking about with brother earlier, it's a lot of people who got baptized, but they never heard the gospel of Yahushua. So what does that mean? How can you call on him whom you have not heard? And how can you believe? Well, how can you believe on him? I understand it. You can't call on him you never heard of. How can you believe without a preacher? And how can they preach except they be sent? So a lot of people, you get told to get baptized just on the simple fact of that's what you're supposed to do. All right. Okay. So when you look at it in that aspect and you get some understanding from it, that's why I would tell them, right? Because we had something like that happen a while back, you know what I'm saying? Some years ago. I can never tell somebody that they can't get baptized. If you come to me and you say, "I want to be baptized," y'all know what's the first thing I'm asking? Do you believe that Yahushua the Son of God? I can't tell you that you don't. But if you got baptized and that never happened, then you ain't baptized properly in the faith to understand what you were doing and why you were doing it. Prayerfully that help you out. But if y'all ain't got no other questions or anything else, also I think it's interactive. So if you have questions, you can ask them at any time. I know sometimes people be like, "But is it what?" Yeah, I'm done all right. Slap you right upside the head. You know what I'm saying? Even if you feel like it'd be off topic, if you got a question, ask it. It's not that big of a deal. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just waiting to see if that helps out. Because if not, we're gonna get on out of here.
I got to take my part of change my wheel bearing. He told me. I knew it.
All right, y'all. Then I bless y'all the house. I'll hear in the name of y'all. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. You who are willing. Till the next time. We out here.
I found somebody else trying to do Jesus. I found that. You only got the mobile. You only charge $2 for it, so $2 ain't bad. Yeah.